Well, it's a pleasure to be here this afternoon on this day after Thanksgiving as the Hobart Brickies will play Indianapolis Roncalli for this 4A state championship game. And it's always tough to get down to Indianapolis, of course, being a team from the region. As you'll notice if you've checked out any of these scorecards and the schedule from this weekend, a lot of the teams from this area, from Indianapolis, representing the teams who are playing here in all of these 1 through 6A Class State Final Championship games. And it's no surprise they do seem to often have the advantage in that. So Hobart is, as Coach Craig Osika said in our interview a couple days ago, the furthest team from Indianapolis to make it here to this game this afternoon. And that represents a test in and of itself. In fact, let's hear from Craig Osika, the conversation we had a couple of days ago, setting up this one between Roncalli and the Brickies, coming up in just a few minutes. It's now to talk with Hobart head coach Craig Osika. Of course, the Brickies heading down to the 4A state championship game this week at Lucas Oil Stadium. First time in about 25 years. 1996 was the last time Hobart made it to the state championship game. And, Coach, it's been a crazy season for sure for everybody, but you guys have that shot now that you've been thinking about, I'm sure, for definitely last year and all of this year to get to that state final game.
Yeah, I think that obviously everybody that's left standing has weathered the storm of COVID, and I'm sure that they all preach the same thing to their kids. That I told our kids, the teams that handle the adversity and the changes the best are the teams that will probably be standing at the end. And I have to give credit to my coaching staff, my administration at Hobart High School, but ultimately the players that were able to navigate through this crazy year with us and essentially we've been pretty healthy and we've only missed one game and it wasn't due to anything on our end.
Is there anything that you guys did a little bit differently throughout your season, maybe with practices or as far as trying to keep the guys either just to themselves by the team standard, or is it really anything that you maybe just got lucky, but is there anything you did all year long that you think helped contribute to kind of being a little bit more healthy?
I think a lot of it plays into what our administration did. We encouraged most of our players to do e-learning. We had the option to either e-learn or be in person. So I think I only had about 4 or 5 starters that were in person. The way that we ran practice, if we weren't in playing, we were 6 feet apart. We took water breaks in individual groups where they were we separated starting linebackers into different groups, starting linemen into different groups. And when we took water breaks, they were 6 feet apart. I had coaches monitoring that. I think that our practices changed a lot. You had to take different break times. You had to take longer break times. No use of locker rooms at any point during the week other than on game days. And at game days, I had kids everywhere. I had kids in the varsity locker room, the freshman locker room, the meeting rooms where they were socially distanced. So, there was a lot of changes. But again, I remember our first practice of the year was like an hour of me just explaining to the kids, this is how we're going to have to practice this year. This is how locker rooms are going to work. This is how water breaks are going to work. So that first week was just a lot of trial and error. And I'll tell you what, we've changed things up until last week to get better, at what we're doing and how we can make sure that we're staying safe.
When you look at it, too, I think one big thing that can help separate you guys, and you can talk about this, is that a lot of teams didn't have that summer filled with practice. You were probably hit and miss. You might have had a couple weeks here, then you had to take breaks, and everybody had different things going on throughout. And one thing that probably led to easier transition with the continuity, really, that comes with a senior quarterback. And Riley Johnson, I think, has probably been one of the main things that has allowed you guys to maybe not practice as much as usual, but still be just as sharp all year.
Well, I think that you look at our core seniors. A lot of those guys were big contributors last year to a semi-state team that we fell short by 5 points. So we knew that was going to be a plus for us. Having Riley at quarterback, having Zach, having Bobby, Tyler, Cam Smith, and those guys that were key fixtures in last year's season were big. We still did a lot of things via Zoom, film work, but it's not the same as getting on the field. Our big question mark was going to be our offensive line this year. And that was really where not having a summer, not going to our summer camp and competing there was really the question mark. And we didn't even know who our starting right tackle was on the Wednesday prior to the Chesterton game. So trying to figure that out and having those guys gel during a season instead of an off season was definitely the biggest challenge for us this year. And I think that those guys in the recent weeks, I mean, are starting to catch up to where we thought we'd be probably week 5, 6, 7 with that group. So they're starting to play their best football these past few weeks and in the playoffs when, and ultimately that's, I kept telling the guys, trust the process. Things are backed up. We have to be playing our best football week 10. And I think that that's probably the philosophy every coach used. And they did. They trust the process. They believed in us. They believed in themselves. And, we got better every week.
Coach, you mentioned Chesterton. You also play Maryville to start the year. That's 2 6A teams. Maryville just had their season end last week, and the semi-state obviously is talented. Really, you can say as a lot of teams in the state. Westfield just kind of got them late, but you know all about playing that tough schedule throughout the season. Even if you go down to play a lower class team, it's an Andrean who's part of the class of the 2A class, so to speak, and that, I think, always prepares you for where you get to today in facing the best of that 4A class all the way through the postseason.
Well, and that's why we schedule. I'll always make sure, as long as I'm here and as long as the Duneland schools will do it well, our first 2 weeks will always be at Duneland schools, and we do that for this reason. We know that you watch Roncalli, you look at their roster, and you look at them on tape. They're going to be very similar to Maryville. They're going to present the same challenges that Maryville did for us, and that's why we do that. We want to play the bigger schools that have the 2 platoons, that don't have guys going both ways, to prepare us for a playoff run and ultimately to prepare us for what will probably ultimately run it downstate. So I think that our kids are prepared. And I think that you get more out of, even if we were to lose, like, okay, last year we went 0-2 in those first 2 games. We learned more that in those 0-2 games than we did beating a lower level opponent, but and have a running clock in those 2 games. So ultimately, that's the philosophy. Our goal in those first 2 games is to go 1-1, and if we do that, we figure that we see that to be successful. Obviously, we want to win every game, but we do those things for that reason, to prepare us for our ultimate goal.
Coach, let's talk a little bit more about that Roncalli team. They have a great history and a really great recent history too. I mean, you think about the Brickies, and a lot of the great success was the 80s and 90s, and you've spent your tenure trying to get back to that. Now here you are in the state championship. This is a team that just a couple of years ago was state champs, and I was reading through some of their history. They've got a giant media guide on their website full of all the stats and everything that goes with it. This is going to be a definite challenge to kind of culminate and be the cherry on top of your season.
Absolutely. They present challenges for us. They don't have anybody going both ways. We have at any point 4 or 5 guys on both sides of the ball going. They're bigger than us. That's pretty evident when you look at the rosters. But we're going to play our game. We're going to go in there. We're going to do what we do. And we're going to try to execute to the best of our ability. You look at their schemes, what they do offensively and defensively, it allows us to do what we do. Our kids got to be up for the challenge, and I know they will be. Obviously, it's a state championship game, and any coach that doesn't tell you that you got to play the best game of the year this week is probably lying to you. So, I think that our kids are excited. We're excited about the opportunity. We're just not happy with making it. We want to come out on top. Before
we talk about the last thing I want to get, which is your plans on Friday and how everything you hopefully plays out, but let's look back a little bit. Not to say that you haven't been tested the last 2 weeks, but those are obviously talented teams with Marion and in the regional as well, and those teams back. But so far, the toughest test was the Lowell Red Devils, and that was a game that you guys had to kind of grind out. And then we've seen 2 weeks after that where you scored a bunch of points. You had to win 10-7 in the sectional championship. So you've had kind of a diverse sort of path to get to this spot where you're at right now.
Well, I think you look at Lowell and Hobart. Lowell and Hobart, you look at every game that Lowell and Hobart's pretty much ever played, there's never really been a blowout. We beat them in the regular season last year. I think it was 35-0. I think we shut them out. And then they came back in the sectional championship, and it was 20-0. So they made up 15 points. I mean, they know, they know our system. They know what we do. We know what they do. So it's going to be a grind. And those kids, they're very well coached. Kilmer's got those kids coached up well. They're always going to be prepared for us. And we knew that was going to be a very challenging game for us, especially nothing against, the teams with Hammond, Gavin, and Gary Westside. But, again, playing those couple weeks and not playing a full game and your starters being out very early in the third quarter, if not even playing in the third quarter, presents a challenge for them to get back up for a game that is really, that where you got to get back and play it at a very high level. But Lowell's Lowell. Hobart's Hobart. We're always going to be battle. I wouldn't have expected anything less than that. They had a really good defense. They came out with a great offensive plan. It's been kind of weird making that. You look back at the playoff run, that Lowell, statistically and score wise, was our toughest opponent in the sectional championship up until now.
Yeah, we know we're going to get a tough one Friday for sure. Let's talk about this. Hobart, obviously, relatively new facilities, only a couple of years old. We got some great venues across Northwest Indiana, even across the state, but there's nothing quite like getting to Lucas Oil Stadium and getting a chance to play in an NFL venue like the guys are going to get Friday night. So just kind of talk about what your guys' plan is, when you're going to leave. If Friday morning, you obviously got to sandwich everything, makes it a little tougher around Thanksgiving, the holiday and stuff like that. So what's the plan Friday? And then we're wishing you the best of luck, of course, too.
I think Friday, our plan is right now we're going to depart here at 8:30 in the morning. We thought about staying the night, but then that presents another problem with COVID and everything, and then trying to find a spot. We figured playing a 3:00 game, 2:00 our time, gave us plenty of time to get down there. So we're going to leave here at 8:30. We got 3 charter buses going. We're going to stop in Lafayette, get them off the bus for about 20 minutes, let them get off, walk around. We're going to feed them in Lafayette. We plan on getting to Lucas Oil right around a little bit before noon or at noon. That gives us an opportunity to kind of stay on our normal game day schedule. I usually open the doors about 2 hours to 2 hours and 15 minutes prior to a 7:00 kickoff. So that gets us there at that point. Get our kids taped. It is going to kind of be a whirlwind once we're down there. They kind of explained it on Monday how it's going to work. You sit in an exhibition room. You do most of your warm-ups there. With the COVID, we're not even getting in the locker rooms until after we take the field for our pregame warm-up. So then you have to come back to the exhibition room, grab your stuff, go to that locker room, be back in the tunnel for announcements. So there's going to be some logistics that we're working out as a coaching staff. I'm going to have some coaches stay behind that will help move the players' stuff to our locker room so the players aren't worried about that. But yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is some of our kids went down there on Monday. They got to see the stadium. Unfortunately, today would have been our day to go down there and practice, but you only get an hour, and it doesn't make sense for me on one of our biggest work days.
All right, that was head coach Craig Osika. We caught most of that interview from a few days ago. Now we get set for this 4A state final kickoff between Roncalli and Hobart. Again with Coach Tim Feather. I'm Sam Michael, Zach Pizer, and Ben Cowart with us as well. Roncalli ready to kick it away after Hobart won the toss. They will send it deep. It'll be Luke Russell sending it down there for Roncalli. Zach Vode, the big play threat, we'll talk about, Coach. In the receiving game, it's pretty much run or throw it to Vode on the offensive side. We'll talk more about that after the kickoff here. But both of these teams will really like to run the football. Roncalli is that way as well. Russell kicks it deep. Vode back to get it. And he receives it in his own end zone for the touchback. And so Hobart will start at their own 20. That's a good place to start. Riley Johnston is back. A lot of the same names that we heard last year. The only exception is DJ Lipke. But Zach Vode is that big play threat in the passing game. And to win against a really talented team like Roncalli, he will have to have some big plays today.
Yeah, Hobart's going to be a little bit more balanced than what you see out of Roncalli. They'll run about 200 yards a game on the ground, 125 through the air. But for them to have success, it's going to have to be Riley Johnston getting out of the pocket and making things happen. Mix it up between handing the ball to Turley, getting Johnston outside the pocket, and letting him just create. And, yes, part of that's going to be hitting Vode.
First down and 10 as they motion Turley out to the left, and we'll throw it to him open in the flat. Turley off the reception, trying to make a move, and not much on the sideline, maybe 4 or 5 yards on the pass completion. That's one of those quick passes to get your quarterback in rhythm, and he does. Second down.
Yeah, great play to start the game to get Johnston's confidence going. Everyone's going to be a little nervous coming in, and you get the ball to one of your big playmakers, Turley, on the outside. Just seeing if he can create something, but if nothing else, a nice chunk of yards on first down.
They give him exactly 4 yards. Ball to the 24-yard line, about the 23.5 to be official. And Hobart has a second down and a long 6 yards to go here. Johnston will work out of the shotgun. They bring a couple of guys now to the left side of the formation to work some extra blockers. Turley right to him. They play action to him, and Johnston will keep it, and he doesn't have anything. Maybe a yard off the side. He was tackled by Dominic Brown And a big third down right off the bat, 3rd and 6 coming up.
Well, you're going to see a lot of that, a lot of the RPO action to keep Johnston involved. He's got to mix it up, when to give it to Turley and when to tuck and run himself. Sets up a 3rd and 6. Big test early on for Hobart.
Well, the guy to watch again is number 83, Zach Vode. In the passing game, he is really the only threat in that passing game. In fact, if you look at the other guys, not too much on any of the receiving end. Over 1,000 yards for Vode, and they were looking into the direction of one of the other guys that we were referencing. That was Miki Jankovic, incomplete, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, it looks like they're jamming up Vode right now. That time they went 3 wide, kind of a stacked formation. And tough to see the numbers looking up at the monitor. And looks like number 44, Ron Colley, got right up and jammed Vode at the line of scrimmage. And it looks like that's the game plan. They're not going to let him get off the ball, make things easy on him.
That was Luke Hansen, number 30 as well, who had the deflection on the pass intended for Jankovic. Just to keep this in mind the rest of the game as far as Vode is concerned. And he also does the punting here, gets away a pretty good one. A high kick to the right side.
Did that hit the shoulder of number 32 on Ron Colley?
And it did. It hit the shoulder of Michael Gallagher, and Hobart is going to have the football in Ron Colley territory. At least it looks like it. The officials come together. They will confer to make sure. But I think you're right, Coach. I think that's Hobart football.
And that's Sam Shockley, it looks like, on the recovery for Hobart, number 58, coming up with the ball. Huge break after a 3-and-out. The Ron Colley, and now looks like there's a discussion.
The officials say Ron Colley football.
And I'm not sure what the reason was for that. I couldn't make out what the official had to say.
And they'll say it hit a Hobart player first? Yes. Okay. So that's actually an outstanding call and a tough one to make when you have a shortened officiating crew, only 5 guys working at the high school level. And that's the difference, of course, you see at the college and NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. Good job in those officials to get that together. It did hit off the shoulder of number 18, Ryan Ellis, of Hobart first.
Ron Colley likes to work the running game, and they will on first down. And this will be the guy you hear a bunch, Baron Hubler. He had over 1,500 yards this entire season when it comes to the postseason as well. He was tackled by Noah Miller after a gain of 5.
Yeah, you're going to get a big dose of Hubler today, and that's going to be the key for Hobart, jamming up the box to try and keep him in containment.
Better defense on the second down play as Babcock, the D1 commits, coming up to make the tackle, and it's 3rd down right off the bat for Ron Colley. 3rd and 3 coming up.
And you're going to have to hear that name Babcock called a lot today. If Hobart's going to have a shot, Babcock is going to have to step up and do a good job of containing Hubler.
Showing some pressure here off the side as the Brickies may bring one of those linebackers, Braden Carlson. Looks like he's ready to come right up the A-gap. Leffler.
Sam Hobart's showing 7 guys in the box.
They swing it out, completes. Great tackle by Vode, but then he swung him forward at the last second, and that'll be enough for a first down. Cole Beckham on the reception, and he's out just across his own 45 to the 46.
Ron Colley going with tempo. That's how they like to play. You're going to see a lot of this today, trying to wear down that Hobart defense.
Leffler, the quarterback, gives it on first down. Big hole here, and near the marker, maybe a yard short on the first down carry for Baron Hubler.
You know, keep in mind, Ron Colley will platoon. There isn't a single player on this Ron Colley team that will play offense and defense. A lot of the big names on Hobart will go both ways. So Ron Colley's goal is going to be to wear out that Hobart defense as this game moves on.
Quarterback Leffler had over 1,500 yards, but again, they like to run the football as Hubler gets it on 2nd and short and has plenty for the first down. About 5 yards there that time as Zach Vode came up to make the tackle, but not before. He gets it to the Hobart 41.
Yeah, it's been a steady dose of Hubler here so far, and until Hobart comes up and shows they can stop that, that's what Ron Colley is going to continue to do.
It's Hubler again, patient, cuts it back to the middle and picks up a couple of yards. In fact, about 4 or 5 before he was finally brought down on a first down run.
You know, and Roncalli is going to pick their moments. They don't pass the ball very often, but they are capable of doing so. Quarterback Aiden Leffler has thrown the ball 177 times this year for a high percentage. So they're going to pick their spots. And here comes one.
Fires open, wide open, and this will be a touchdown. It looks like there is a flag on the near side of the field, and we'll find out what that is. Right now it's a touchdown pass to Nick Stewart, and the flag could be really important. This is in the area of a potential illegal formation penalty, or it could be offsides, and we'll see. It'll change everything.
Yeah, Hobart defensive back fell down about the 20-yard line, and that enabled the Roncalli receiver to get wide open. But this one is coming back.
And it was a play action, so neither of the possibilities I presented. It's an illegal man downfield is the call from the officiating crew. And that did take a little bit as far as the RPO. I don't know if that was a design play action or if it was an option for the quarterback to keep or give. And it probably would reflect that it was an option given the fact that one of his linemen had gone downfield. So a huge penalty. Instead of a touchdown, it's 2nd and 11.
Yeah, but that's just showing what Roncalli is capable of. When you run the ball, they're looking for that opportunity to catch the defense, pinching in, and then to hit that pass, that timely pass.
On 2nd and 11, it is Hubner on the carry, and he picks up some of those yardage they just lost. Simpson making the tackle. Jacob Simpson for Hobart, one of those linebackers. Missing Cam Smith in this game, out for the rest of the year after a couple of weeks ago with an injury. And his teammates trying to help him become a state champion in this senior season. And somebody jumped. It looks like a false start, and it is. So Roncalli, instead of a 3rd and 7, will be backed up 3rd and very long here.
Yeah, Cam Smith, the leading tackler on this team, missing his 2nd straight game after getting injured in the regional. Cam Smith had 72 tackles on the year, 11 for loss and 4 sacks. That's a huge loss in that Hobart defensive backfield, but they have several great athletes back there that could help step up.
So 3rd down and long here, 3rd and 12 from the Hobart 43-yard line. They need the 31. It's a low snap. Leffler handles it, fires it out complete, and tackled out of bounds just short of the marker after the completion to John Troxel. And so now we'll see whether or not, you would think they would, Roncalli will go for it, and they make that decision quickly, 4th and 2, and they will.
Yeah, this is right in the sweet spot for Hubler. You expect just some type of run here, up the middle, get him to the outside. You know, they're going to pick what they saw on film as whatever that weak spot is that they think they could take advantage of, and expect them to pound this one up the middle right here. Looking to draw Hobart off sides, it looked like initially.
Yeah, almost did. One of those big guys in the middle almost jumped across. Leffler will keep it himself. Leffler pushing forward. It'll all depend on the spot. It looks like a good one. He does. Some of the Hobart players thought they stopped him short, with the spot just inside the 31, and a 1st down for Roncalli.
Yeah, he just ran off the right side. Great block by Hubler to open that up, getting a body on Jacob Simpson. And that block there is what helped create that 1st down.
So they move the chains again, and this has been a slow, methodical drive. It looked like it had been capped off with a touchdown already. But the illegal man downfield gave Hobart a chance to get off the field, and not able to do so. And a fresh set of downs now, right near their 30-yard line. Here's Hubler again, hanging on for dear life on the tackle. Is Ryan Flores after a couple of yards. They'll give him about 2.5.
Yeah, Ryan Flores, another one of those guys that needs to step up. You know, he's been a big player for them all year, 56 tackles on the season. Just another guy who needs to step up to help fill the void for Cam Smith.
Interesting, too. We did a lot of this Hobart team last year. Tyler Turley was part of that great core of 4 linebackers. Well, this year he's played more on the outside, moving to the DB spot. So you see a couple of guys in there as well. Hubler bouncing, now cuts it back to the middle, and adds another 4 yards to his carry total today before he was tackled and brought down in the middle of the field by Noah Miller. So another big 3rd down. This one 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, and I expect this to be another 4-down territory for Roncalli.
About halfway through this first quarter, just under 6 minutes now. Leffler fakes it, keeps it himself, cuts it back, and he almost had that last seam to go all the way for the touchdown. He's got the first just inside the 15-yard line. And again, Roncalli on the move.
Yeah, and that tackle was Jake Simpson once again. perhaps saving a touchdown there, grabbing the feet from behind, and looks like we're going to have a timeout, Hobart.
Bricky's a little gassed defensively. We'll take a timeout. 5:48 to play in this opening quarter.
Region Snow Removal and Landscaping, 219-545-4832, is a proud sponsor of the Hobart Brickies. Go Brickies from the Reyes family.
This is Mayor Brian Snedeker. On behalf of the City of Hobart, we want to wish our Hobart Brickies a victory in Indy. Go get them, Brickies. We're proud of you, both on the field and all you do for this community.
Langel's Pizza in downtown Highland voted best in the region. Come and join us for lunch or dinner. Still offering curbside pickup and delivery. Come watch the Bears take on the Packers on Sunday Night Football, featured on 42 of our HD TVs. Kickoff 7:20. 80-cent boneless and traditional wings covered in your favorite sauce. Enjoy our enclosed patio. Plenty of room for your comfort. Langel says congrats to the Brickies and good luck representing the region in the state finals. So make the trip to downtown Highland for the best sports bar around. For all the info, check out langelspizza.com. We'll see you there. Go Brickies!
5:48 to play in this opening quarter from Lucas Oil Stadium. Hobart's nothing, Roncalli nothing, but the Rebels inside Hobart's territory in the red zone and inside the 15, in fact, at the 14 with a fresh set of downs. Hobart a bit gassed after this slow, methodical drive that Hubler and Leffler have put together so far, Coach. It's what they do and what they've done all year.
Yeah, this is something that Hobart is not used to. I mean, this is an outstanding defense that has only given up about 10 points per game on the season. But they've been in this situation before. They pride themselves on kind of being bend but don't break. You know, so they'll look to get a stop here, see if they can hold them to 3 or even a 4 now, because I expect Roncalli not to kick many field goals. So a situation where Hobart maybe hasn't been in very much this year, but they pride themselves in keeping the teams out of the end zone.
Better defensively here as Hubler, for the first time today, goes down for a loss. Big Alex Pickett was one of the guys that was in there, and Hubler loses 1. That'll take away from what was 32 yards already in this first quarter and back him up a yard, and a second down coming up.
Yeah, and it's been a steady dose of Hubler, and Leffler has mixed it in there well at times. He's picked his opportunities. You know, outside the one long pass for a touchdown that was called back, it's been pretty much all on the ground, which we expect to see.
On 2nd and 11, Leffler will fire. He fires low and completes. Troxel has been the only target so far. He's caught both passes. He would have had the touchdown, but that was called back. He's got 2 actual completions. This one cuts it in half. 3rd and 6 coming up.
Yeah, Josh Tejada in there on the coverage, able to come in and clean that one up.
They need the 4-yard line, the ball at the 10 now. And as you mentioned, probably 4-down territory unless it's longer than 5 yards. I would imagine anything inside of 5 will be a go-for situation. Maybe even more. Leffler on 3rd down out of the shotgun formation, takes the snap, gives it to Hubler. Hubler right up the middle, and his second burst is going to pick up the first down as they got the look they wanted with the middle of the field wide open. And Hubler has a 1st and goal.
Yeah, a little cutback there to the right enabled him to pick up the extra yards, get that first down. Looks like Jake Simpson and Zach Vode was the first one in there, and then Simpson and Johnston came in there to clean that one up.
As we said, though, it was after the first down for Baron Hubler, and it's a 1st and goal. Dropped. Leffler had to just fall on it, as it was a pretty good snap. And he just lost the handling all of a sudden. I think a little excited. He saw a pretty good hole opening on his left. Was going to take it to the end zone. Instead, he lost a couple of yards.
Yeah, we saw it here on replay. Right as that ball got to his hands, his eyes went up. But that's a very headsy play by Leffler just to fall on that. You try to scoop that up and make something out of that. Hobart may end up with that ball.
So a 2nd and goal. It's Hubler this time, and the big guys in the middle getting there. Also some help from the linebacking core. Babcock was on in first. Miller to clean it up. No gain on the play. 3rd and goal from the 5.
You know, and this is the key right now is Hobart. I know it's going to be 4-down territory, but just to get off the field. They've been able to make a couple nice stops at the line of scrimmage, but they haven't been able to put 2 in a row together. Babcock, Johnston, Vode, Turley, those big-time players are going to need to step up right here in the goal line situation.
See if they trust number 35 or if it's the quarterback. Off the play action, firing, complete in the flat. Coming off to make the tackle attempt, but no tackle. A touchdown instead, as the DB could not wrap up Gallagher. He's on the reception. It's a 5-yard touchdown.
Yeah, Hobart DB came up there. It was a number 3, Riley Johnston, and stuck him, but wasn't able to wrap up. Yeah, that's Hobart's quarterback that just was not able. He tried to do the right thing, just was not able to get his arms around the big, strong Hubler.
So a touchdown pass to Gallagher after we had really only heard the names Leffler, Troxel, and of course Hubler, as we mentioned. But Gallagher gets the touchdown. And Russell, the point after. 7-0 Roncalli, 3:11 to play in this opening quarter. You're listening to the 4A state championship game from Lucas Oil Stadium.
Aloso Construction Company was established in 2004. We are a full-service telecommunication and cable construction company. We specialize in outside and inside plant fiber optic coax construction, with the majority of our work being in the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana area. We have a comprehensive background in construction management and engineering with experienced crews. Contact us at 219-200-9188 or check us out online at alosoconstruction.com. Let's go Brickies from Aloso Construction.
Sign Gypsies of Hobart is your go-to place for signs to celebrate any occasion in Northwest Indiana. We specialize in yard greetings for birthdays, anniversaries, new babies, and any other big events. Book your sign today by calling 219-200-2800 or by visiting signgypsies.com. Best of luck to the Brickies at State from all your friends at Sign Gypsies. Back to Lucas Oil Stadium with Tim Fedler. I'm Sam Michael. 4A state football championship game here on this Friday. A game we weren't sure would be played at different points throughout this season. Of course, we didn't get any state championship games in the basketball season on the men's side. The boys did not get a chance to get past a sectional. Regionals and beyond was canceled, but here we are. It's been a quick season, and we've gone a little bit further ourselves. Not trying to take away from Hobart, but we didn't think we'd be broadcasting past the regional, but here we were in semi-state. Now here we are in state. And Coach, the start of this game, as much as we enjoy talking about the superlatives, but the start of the football game, 7-minute drive for Roncalli, is a tough one for Hobart right now. They got the football, didn't do anything with it, and then Roncalli took a lot of this first quarter just now.
Yeah, and Hobart won the toss, and they elected to receive, and that's not something you see very much nowadays. But Coach Osika wanted to get his offense on the field. He probably had a few plays scripted, thought maybe he had something that he could move the ball down the field a little bit, maybe get a quick early score and keep that Roncalli offense off the field. You go 3 and out, and then Roncalli does what they've been doing to everybody all year, and you got Hobart back on their heels early in this one. Like you said, 7-minute drive, and a lot of players on Hobart will be playing two ways today. I mean, those names we called in that defensive backfield, those are the key guys on offense as well. We're talking about Johnston, Turley, and Vode. So they got to go right back out there right now after being on defense for 7 minutes and hope to put a sustained drive together.
Yeah, that's what Coach Osika was saying to me a couple of days ago, that, we play 4 or 5 guys who go both ways, and they don't play any. Vode on the return here off the kickoff, trying to go all the way back across the field. Able to spin out a 1 tackle, and then he was taken down, and a late flag flies in. And you'd have to think this will be a late hit on Roncalli, and we'll see what the officials have for sure. But that will definitely help the field position as the ball is at the 17-yard line right now.
I think they're going to get leading with the head in there. Oh, no, it looks like it's going to be a block in the...
Yeah, block in the back or something with all that is concerned. And Hobart will be backed up a bit on all that. Yep. Sorry about that, Coach.
I can't hear anything in my speaker, though.
Maybe right now, but can't hear you at all. We'll try to adjust there. Any better?
I'm better right now. There we go.
Good? All right. Technology, right?
Going in.
We'll get it fixed.
I think I got too many papers over here, maybe causing a little.
We get near the. You don't see. That's the thing. You can't touch anything. You still going?
I'm in and out, but yeah, I'll make it work.
All right.
As long as you can hear me,
I can hear you.
We'll be good to go.
We'll trade out a headset if we need to. Riley Johnston on the keeper on this first down. Out of bounds outside the sideline. So the penalty at the 17 was a 10-yard penalty from that spot. So Hobart starts at their own. They mark him up a little bit further at the 8-yard line, and Johnston's carry takes him to the 12, so 4-yard pickup.
Yeah, and as I was about to say, I didn't see that replay on that, but it looked like there was just a tackle was being made, and the flag came in. It looked like it'd be a late hit. I'm not sure where that block in the back came from, but puts Hobart in a bad situation. But they got to shake that off now and see if they can just put a couple first downs together.
2nd down and 6 from the 12-yard line. Johnston will throw it as he wheels out, and the dangerous pass was a little bit behind his intended receiver that time. And then the ball fell to the floor. He was trying to find Carlson, and he deflected it up. That would have been a pick 6 with relative ease if somebody got a hand.
They did what they need to do. They get Riley Johnson outside the pocket, let him create. The ball was a little bit behind Carlson on that one, but yeah, avoided danger. Luckily, that ball ended up hitting the ground to give Hobart a shot here on 3rd and 6.
This is a big play already in this football game after a 7-minute and 11-second drive by the Roncalli Rebels. Hobart's in danger of going 3 and out for a second consecutive time. It's a give to the right side, and a big first down is picked up by Tyler Turley as he goes out of bounds at the 21.
Yeah, great play call there. A lot of running room here on the near side for Turley. Got a great lead block. Looks like by Carlson down the field, and Turley able to pick up the first down.
Pushed out of bounds by Dominic Brown. And a first down for Hobart, their first down of the football game. Ball at the 21-yard line of the Brickies, and Johnston will work out of the shotgun. Fakes the give to Turley, keeps it himself, trying to get that edge again, and a lot of sideways running as Johnston ran a bunch, but he only picks up 1 yard moving forward to the 22.
Yeah, just a great job by that Roncalli defense to string that one out. Looks like Tommy Brownfield got in there and made the tackle eventually, but that was the entire defense. But that's what they know they need to do. Roncalli needs to keep Johnston contained. They want to keep him inside the pocket, but right there he was able to get outside, but the defense held their spots, and there was just no room for Johnston to go.
So 2nd down and 9. Couple receivers to the right, one to the left. Johnston will roll it to his right. Looking on a comeback route, intercepted as he tried to fire it with his receiver coming back inside the 30. And the ball is picked off and returned a couple of more yards by Skylar Phillips. He takes it back to where the Hobart line of scrimmage was at their 21. And Phillips sets up Roncalli.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there was much there. I think he tried to hit Carlson out in the flat. And there was 2 guys there he may have been trying to throw that ball to, but just Johnson trying to make something happen. Great athletic play there by number 44, Phillips Roncalli, because he had to catch that ball going behind him. But a bad break for Hobart. See if their defense can come out here now and get a big stop.
Yeah, you talk about defenders reading the quarterback's eyes a lot. And I think that's exactly what Skylar Phillips just did. He was on Carlson, but he saw Johnston looking for Vode, who was coming right behind him. And a great athlete that Phillips is, comes up with the interception. Off the INT, looking for a big play. Instead, they go underneath to the right side, a pass completion again. These passes to the right of Leffler have been much easier to complete. Caden Gore on the catch this time for a couple.
And that was one where Josh Tejada, the Hobart defensive back, came up, and if he was just maybe a step quicker on that one, could have been looking at a pick 6 himself.
Play action on 2nd down over the middle, wide open. This is a touchdown. And we saw this play earlier where one of the defenders had either slipped up a bit on the turf or had guessed wrong on which way the wide receiver was going. This time it's Kyle Lockard, and he was wide open. Easy completion for Leffler for a 17-yard touchdown pass.
When you're a running team and you go play action fake, that's the danger when Hobart is trying to sell out to stop that. And Lockard, that's the leading receiver on the year for Roncalli, 27 receptions for 422 yards, and that's his 8th TD.
1:28 to play in this first quarter. It's been all Roncalli. And the PAT from Russell is right through. And with just under 90 seconds left, Hobart is in some trouble early in this one. They will get the football when we come back, down 14-0.
Your Vito's Pharmacy locations offer a complete line of CBD products. These full-spectrum and broad-spectrum CBD oils, topicals, facial serums, and gummies offer many health benefits and may help with relief from pain, inflammation, and anxiety. We have CBD products for pets, too. Stop by one of our 3 convenient locations for more information, and our friendly staff will help you find the right CBD product for you. And in the month of December, get 20% off your CBD purchase if you mention WJOB. Visit our website, VitosPharmacy.com, to find the location nearest you.
Vito's Pharmacy.
This game is brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 697. Proud union electricians that have been safely wiring and contributing to the region for over 100 years. For more information, visit CertifiedElectrician.com.
Much quicker drive that time for Roncalli. Not even 30 seconds after the INT from Phillips. Set them up at their Hobart 21-yard line. It was a run up the middle, and then a 17-yard pass to Lockard from Loeffler. And a 14-0 advantage for the Rebels. And Hobart, looking for a big play, is still looking right now. And they're going to desperately need one as Vode, maybe in the kickoff return game, fields it at his own 1-yard line, trying to make something happen. But they're paying a bunch of attention to number 83 as he takes it right back to where the touchback normally would have been, to the 20-yard line. And the difference in starting field position has been a big thing. Hobart has had it deep in their own territory, and for the 3rd straight possession will start from their own 20 or deeper.
And Hobart just has to be patient, have to find a way to get Johnston out in space. He's a big play guy that he's capable of going the distance at any given time. But they just got to continue to grind it out between him and Turley, find an opportunity to take a shot for Vode. You know, Vode's a guy who can go up and get it. You throw jump balls to him when you get the opportunity. So stay patient right now. You put a drive together, you're down 1 score, you're right back in it.
Turley on the carry as he kicks it out left, breaks 1 tackle and pushed out of bounds. A good carry, especially on first down for Turley, as he got away from Dominic Brown before being pushed out of bounds. A gain of 7 on the first carry.
Yeah, and that's a great answer right there. 7 yards on first down. Now you got the entire playbook open to you here on 2nd and short.
Folks here at Lucas Oil have filled in okay, especially given the circumstances. All mixed around down this lower bowl area of Lucas Oil Stadium. Normally you'd see probably about 10, 12,000 fans between both schools, but we're probably about half of that, if even to that number. On 2nd down and short, it's a carry up the middle again, this time enough for the first down as Turley, back-to-back carries, picks up 10 yards between the two and has the first down.
You know, they've had a little bit of success when they've given the ball to Turley. You know, so maybe they found something there, mixed up between inside, outside, especially those last 2 runs. I would just keep grinding away. As long as Turley's picking up 3-4 yards a pop, the more you do that, the more it's going to open up Johnston to keep it and maybe get around the outside.
Brady Niu is one of the guys in there to help make that tackle. 6'4", sophomore, 240, defensive lineman. That's the kind of stuff you just don't see all the time. Don't take it for granted. Turley gets the carry again. Turley, good patience as he waited for that hole. And the second burst out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. A pick up 6 yards on first down.
And that was more RPO action where Johnston was carrying that fake to the near side. So they're setting that up. The last 3 plays going to Turley. Expect Johnston to keep on himself here coming up and see if he can do what he does best and has been doing all year and perhaps break a long run here.
Play clock and game clock almost identical. If they let it run out, it would barely run out by about half a second, maybe even a quarter of a second. But I think Hobart is going to run one more play here with 3 seconds, now 2. And Johnson snaps it right there. It's a give up the middle on 2nd down. And nothing as it is stuffed on the run by Turley right back to the line of scrimmage. So Hobart will have a big 3rd down. We've said that a few times already. When we start the second quarter, it'll be 3rd and 5 yards. 14-0 Roncalli on top after 1 from Lucas Oil Stadium.
As life changes, your insurance needs change. Shire Insurance Services in Crown Point has been helping clients with their changing insurance needs for almost 30 years. As an independent agency, we represent a variety of reputable insurance companies so we can offer the best coverage at the best price. Buying your first home? Start with Shire. Expanding your business? Start with Shire. Your teenage driver passed the driving test and you're worried about the increased cost of auto insurance? Start with Shire. The first baby is on the way and you want to reassess your life insurance? Start with Shire. Whatever your insurance concern or need, we are ready to help make those things easier for you. Call 219-663-7274 or search online to Start with Shire.
Remember, everyone, tune in from 3 to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday for the Region Rush Hour with Tony Panic and Sam Michael.
Well, Sam Michael and Tony Panic.
Well, yeah, Tony Panic, you know what? We'll talk about it. Tune in, everybody.
For a state championship game here from Lucas Oil Stadium with Tim Fedler, I'm Sam Michael. Just heard that little promo there. Normally we'd have Region Rush Hour getting ready to start and would be starting right about now. But not today. And I'll just be honest, I love doing the show, but a little bit more fun here being down in Indianapolis. And unfortunately on the field, all the fun has been had by the home team on the scoreboard. That's Roncalli, and the home team by distance from this stadium as well, as Roncalli not as far from here as Hobart, just a little bit closer, as Hobart made the trip down 65 like we did this morning. And so far, Coach, they're just trying to settle in, but the problem is when you're playing a good team like you see across the way, they don't give you too much time to do so.
No, and you got to prevent the mistakes. That's what really kills you. And you'll take that first drive. You knew Roncalli was going to put some of those long scoring drives together. That 7-minute drive went about 70 yards. But the one that they want back is that interception that allowed Roncalli to go in on the short field. You can't give an explosive offense those opportunities. When Hobart struggled early in the year, I know the loss to Maryville, the loss to Andran, they turned the ball over. And that's something that they can't do here today if they want to pull off a little bit of an upset over this Roncalli team.
And they've done it once. Johnston, the INT, set up the last touchdown, and now on third down trying to make a play, but it's going to be even tougher as Turley, I think that's on the running back. He might have moved first, and he was definitely one of the first people to move. It's a false start on the offense, and now it becomes even tougher from 3rd and 5 to back where they started on this last set of downs at their own 31 and a 3rd and 10.
Yeah, so now that eliminates some of the play calling options that Coach Osika had. You go 3rd and 10, more likely to put the ball in the air here. You know, still you want to get Johnson outside the pocket, and if the opportunity's there for him to tuck and run, he's capable of picking up that first down. So look for them to roll him out, looking for Vode as their first option downfield. And if that's not there, Johnson will keep it.
Vode to his right was lined up in the slots. They don't go to him. The pass complete underneath as it was caught and taken about half the necessary distance. Mark Enslin made the catch, and a little bit more than half of what he needed, about 7 yards, but deep into their own territory. Hobart will again have to kick the football away.
It was a nice little drag route right over the center of the field. Enslin doing a nice job, but that just tells you how big that penalty was, because that prevented them from getting the first down.
Yeah, if you're on the same play and everything's different, the defense would have played it different, but that would have been enough yardage for the first down before the penalty. Vode in there to kick it away as Brown comes up to catch it inside his own 25, and then he is ridden down right off the bat. Really nice tackle was made in coverage that time. And Hobart's doing a good job so far in the special teams. Unfortunately, that's been the highlight of the game, as Ryan Ellis was one of the first guys down there.
And the smart play there to punt the ball. You don't want to get carried away early. I'm sure Coach McCarthy would have maybe done something different there in that situation. But that's the smart play.
Well, and you lose to Washington by 3+ touchdowns. There's probably some bad decisions that went into that game all the way yesterday.
Absolutely.
A little bit disappointing for all of us, I know, as we wanted to see a good game on Thanksgiving, but did not get that. Leffler keeping it on first down is wrapped up and taken down after a gain of 5 off of right tackle and it was Zach Vode who came up to bring him down.
Yeah, we're calling Vode's name a little bit on defense coming up, making some nice plays. But if Hobart wants to have an opportunity to get back in this one, we're going to have to call Vode's name on the offensive side of the ball at some point here.
Yeah, the problem is, too, we're calling his name when it's making tackles in the running game, and that's not the best thing to have. Hubler is contacted, and then Vode was there. That's where you want to make some plays. Good pressure up the middle from Justin Sawyer as he forced Hubler to try and cut back to the outside, and that's where Zach Vode was waiting to bring him down for a loss of 1.
Yeah, Vode will be attending Western Michigan next year, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he will be playing linebacker.
He plays DB on this team, but he can play some linebacker. He's got the size and the strength to do it. Huge third down as Hobart really needs to stop for some momentum. Leffler, they roll him to the left. Pressure comes, he fires, this is caught. A first down and much more out near midfield, all the way to the 45-yard line. The pass to Cole Beckman. And a big play on 3rd and long.
Yeah, and that's the athletic play that this quarterback can make. Leffler, kind of like Johnston, he can get outside the pocket and he can make things happen. They just don't have to do it as often. They rely more on that run game, but great athletic play all the way around.
Absolutely. On the sideline, moving from your right to your left. As a right-handed quarterback, it's one of the toughest throws to make. And now they have him run it on 1st down. And he plunges ahead for 4 yards right to that midfield logo on top of the Colts helmets. It's the 50-yard line to pick up a 4.
And Roncalli's just doing a good job mixing up their play calls right now. When Leffler, he keeps it once in a while, just enough to keep the defense honest. You know, it's going to be Hubler left, Hubler right for the most part, and then they pick their opportunities to pass the ball when Hobart's thinking run.
Yeah, we've seen Roncalli have the ball now. This is their 3rd possession. And we've seen the 2 kind of drives they can make, looking for the deep ball and just overthrown. It would have been a touchdown if they found Lockard, but it was just over his head. He had a step on the defender down there in coverage, and luckily it was incomplete.
Yeah, pressure was applied in Leffler's face. I didn't catch the number of the Hobart linemen that got in there and applied contact, but that great play kept Leffler from being able to stay in there and complete that pass.
Tejada was the guy beat a little bit in coverage. 3rd down and 3rd and 6 officially, Roncalli looking to put together another slow, methodical drive. They'll need to pick up the 3rd here if they want to. They'll pass it, firing left and incomplete on a quick hitter to the outside as they were trying to find Caden Gore at a catch earlier, but instead they will kick it away as Hobart stands. A huge stop with 9:18 to play and a 14-0 deficit in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, perhaps that gives this Hobart defense a little bit more confidence in doing what they've done all year. Like I said, they only give up 10.2 points per game. Roncalli's already surpassed that. If this defense can just settle in, get some stops, you know, eventually if Hobart can put a score on the board, get it to 14-7, that may get their confidence going, and we may have a new game here.
Hobart looking to make something happen in the kicking game. Is not a good kick here as it was shanked hard to the left and bounces out of bounds. Not returnable, but decent field position just inside the 30-yard line of Hobart at the 27.
Yeah, so this will be the best field position, on the starting field position of the game, I believe, for the Brickies. And they just need to come out and grind it out. They had success giving the ball to Turley. Keep giving the ball to Turley. Mix it up. Johnston pick his moments to pull it out. They kind of want to do, you know, what Roncalli is having success with on the other side, and that's just grind it to Hubler, and then Leffler picks his moment. So Hobart just needs to kind of do the same thing. That's what they've had success at all year. They just got to get the offensive line to open up a few holes for them and see if they can get a little rhythm going.
Johnston on first down will give it to Turley, and he's got some running room as he cuts it back midfield. Turley to the 50 and finally brought down. By far the biggest play of the football game for Tyler Turley in this Hobart offense to the Roncalli 48.
And I was watching the line there, and there wasn't much of a push on the line, but Hobart did at least hold their blocks, and Turley was able to get around the outside for a huge gain for Hobart.
25-yard pickup for Tyler Turley. He only played 9 of the team's 13 games this year, but he was still their leading rusher. Turley at 794 yards. His quarterback was next, just behind him. 12 yards short of that number. And he gets it here on first down. Brown, a good play in the secondary as Dominic Brown comes up to make the tackle for a loss of 1.
Yeah, Turley's had success at going to the outside. That's the first time Roncalli's really been able to come up and stick him at the line of scrimmage. We'll see if Johnson goes with a keeper here, tries to pull the ball back near side, or maybe just go right back to Turley up the middle.
Yeah, a lot of credit to those guys on the line, too. Bach in the middle, Wilson and Hicks, especially on that right side. Also, Lewis and Wilson. We haven't talked about the starters for Hobart on the offensive line, but those two guys on the right, Hicks and Wilson, have been doing a pretty good job. The biggest play of the game came on that right side run. 2nd down and 11. Johnson will work the play action, fires, contested. It was, I think, partially deflected as well as he was trying to get it to Vode. And pretty good coverage in the middle and also over the top that time from Michael Hegwood.
Yeah, you're right. Initially, I thought Vode slipped down, but it looked like the ball was deflected. Yeah, and then Vode kind of started to dive in to make a diving reception, but that ball was deflected by, what was it, 43?
Yeah, 42, Sean Sinovic. And one of those linebackers, a senior. And he got a hand, and then you saw it. At least we did, the folks who watching on TV saw it hit Hegwood and thought maybe he should have had it, but it was deflected. A tough catch. Timeout taken for Hobart. After the big Turley run, they've gone backwards and then incomplete. So a 3rd and 11 coming up with 7:57 to play in this second quarter.
The Hobart Family YMCA wishes the Brickies good luck in the state championship game today. The Hobart Family YMCA is offering a Black Friday membership special to help you jumpstart your new year right. Join the Hobart Family YMCA for just $1. That's right, just $1 before December 14th, and you won't make your first membership payment until January 5th, 2021. Come check out our newly renovated facility and see what the Hobart Family YMCA has to offer you. Visit our website, hobartymca.org, to sign up or learn more. Go Brickies!
First Merchants was founded on a principle. Banks should help their communities thrive. Over 125 years ago, a group of business owners created First Merchants to ensure our neighbors had a trusted place for their money. Today, we continue to serve with a dynamic and passionate spirit. For our clients and our communities, we are focused on solutions. Working together, we create them. Learn more at firstmerchants.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Under 8 minutes to play now in this second quarter from Lucas Oil Stadium. Brickies and the Rebels, Hobart and Roncalli. And so far it's been all Roncalli in this first quarter and change. About 16 minutes of game time have gone by. And Rebels right now leading 14-0, as we mentioned. And Hobart, their best drive of the day. The first time their offense has been into Roncalli territory, but a big 3rd down and long coming up.
Yeah, that's a big timeout for Coach Osika. He recognizes the situation, the importance of this first down and being able to get some points on the board here after finally getting a big stop.
So on 3rd down, we'll see what they've drawn up. It's Vode to the left with safety help over the top of him. Johnson is under pressure, and Johnson goes down. The ball came out, and the question is, was he down first? And the answer to that is yes.
Dominic Brown in there applying the pressure and getting the sack as Johnston was rolling out, looking for Vode, but just the offense line was not able to hold up as he came from the outside.
And Johnson, not a guy who gets sacked too often, but because of the long distance on a 3rd and 11, takes too long for the play to develop. And that gives those pass rushers time. Vode out there to punt it away. 4th time we've seen him. All 4 of these Hobart drives have ended the same. Well, 3 punts and 1 interception. This is a great punt inside the 20. It took a Hobart bounce as well to the 17-yard line. So Roncalli will start there. They've got plenty of time. 7 minutes and 12 seconds to work with, and all of their timeouts in this second quarter. And we saw the big run from Turley. Thought Hobart might be turning the corner offensively, but still cannot stay ahead. And as they say, on time on these offensive possessions.
Yeah, and all they got to do right now is they got to think ahead and just look back only as far as that last defensive stand where you were able to force a punt and figure out what you did there, build on that success, and see if you can get another stop here without Roncalli getting a first down. See it flip that field position a little bit.
Lockwood comes in motion. They give it to Hubler as he Slashes right through the middle, and that's the kind of runs you see from number 35. Not the big breakaway speed guy a bunch, but he is the guy to run it right between the tackles. And speaking of tackle, it was made by Ryan Flores after a gain of 4. They get right to the line of scrimmage and give it again to Hubler. Hubler bursting through. He'll be close to the first down, depends on the spot. They'll give him a good one right at the marker. And Hubler has 6 yards, and they move the chains.
And it looks like Vode was in there to make that tackle. And the reason you're calling Vode's name a lot now is because Hubler's getting 4 or 5 yards before contact, and Vode's coming up from his defensive backfield position to make the hit.
So on first down, it's 3 consecutive runs for Hubler, this time to the outside, as he was pulled down kind of awkwardly and pulled down a little bit too late. Another big run for Baron Hubler, and he picks up 11, the first down.
Vode once again in on that tackle, but another first down for Roncalli, and the offensive line is just opening up huge holes. They're pushing this Hobart defensive line 3-4 yards back before.
If it isn't broke, you don't need to fix it, is the old expression. And another run right up the middle from Hubler again. And he is the every down back for this team, as Hayden McLam helped make the tackle. We haven't said his name yet today. Those guys up front, him and Pickett and Miller. Miller's had an okay game, but even for losses, it's been the linebackers getting in there first on second down. Leffler just working the middle of the field. This one looks to be a bit short of the first down, as they'll mark him a full yard short. In fact, near midfield, ball at the 47. The line to gain is the 48. And now we're going to see a timeout taken. I think Roncalli will do so right before this third down. So are we going to have a measurement? It looks like a timeout taken by Roncalli. I'm waiting to see from the officials for sure. Are we doing a measurement?
Looks like an injury timeout.
Okay,
I believe Daniel
right.
O'Connor is slow getting off the field.
That's right. So one of those offensive linemen who has had such a good game has to check out here. Seems okay to get off the field, but see if he can come back in and how quickly. Especially on a big third down and short, you'd like to have your offensive line out there, your starters. And this is a deep roster. I'm sure they can go right to the bench and find a 6'2", 300-pounder, no problem. And stick him right in there on this third down coming up. They work out of the pistol formation with Leffler and Hubler. 3rd and 1, and it's a give to Hubler. Hubler has the first down, not much more though, as he goes down right at the 50-yard line. But again, didn't need much, and he picks up 3.
And Roncalli lost, I believe, was one of their best offensive linemen at the start of the year, who I think was a 6'6", 6'7" guy who led that offensive line. So they've been able to do this without one of their best players up front.
You mentioned before the broadcast, this might have been a team the local folks thinking was a year or so away from being here, but here they are. And they have a chance and looking good right now to win the 4A state championship, and this is going to help. A slant over the middle is caught, and breakaway speed for Cole Backman. He has a 50-yard touchdown. Once he caught it, Slight Bobble took it the rest of the way.
Yeah, and that's what happens. Again, I've been saying it all game long. When you run the ball and you have man coverage on the outside with nobody over the top, and it looked like Riley Johnston was there on coverage, the Hobart QB, just out of his reach. It was pretty decent coverage early on. Beckman just was able to run a great post route over the middle, got inside coverage, and was able to beat Johnston to the spot.
Third time today, we've seen Luke Russell on for the PAT, and third time today, he has knocked it through. 21-0. Roncalli on top, 5 minutes to play in this second quarter. Hobart's trying to find a spark offensively when we come back.
This is Dave Kuziak, owner of Kuziak Construction, with over 20 years of experience.
This is Bob Popovich, owner of Steel City Home Improvements, with over 40 years in business.
We are here to announce the big news. Kuziak Construction, your exterior experts, and Steel City Home Improvement have merged to create Kuziak Construction, your home improvement experts.
What customers can expect from us is the same great customer service with quality craftsmanship at competitive prices. Also, we can offer entire home improvement services, both inside and outside of your home. home. We also offer handyman service to complete any size job, big or small.
Roofing, replacement windows, decks, insulation, basement remodeling, bathrooms or kitchens. Kuziak Construction can handle it all. Quality craftsmanship at competitive prices. References available. Call Kuziak Construction at 923-3007 for free estimates.
Kuziak Construction, your complete home improvement experts.
Ricky struggling here in this one in the 4A state championship after this great run to get to Lucas Oil Stadium. You run into one of the best teams in the state. There were some folks who thought that Roncalli was up there not just in the 4A class, but amongst, of course, the best two or three teams in the entire state of Indiana. And they're showing that here today. Their only loss, I believe, was to Chittard, who also will play here tomorrow in the 3A class state championship game. And that's become a theme. Last week we had between the two teams we called with Maryville and Westfield, who of course will play the game following this. Maryville and Westfield's only loss had come to, again, Chittard and Cathedral, who will also play tomorrow. And so that's what you get. Late in this year, you're finding a lot of teams that only lost, most cases to teams that are probably still playing.
You know, you look at the schedule for Roncalli, in the last game of the year, they beat perennial power from the South, who Lowell folks will remember, East Central. That was a team that defeated Lowell in the state finals in 2017, and East Central was ranked in the top 5 or 6 of the state throughout the season. And then in the regional, they defeated Class 4A state-ranked number 1 Mount Vernon 35-14, and last week in semi-state, they defeated number 3 ranked team in the state, Mooresville, 42-14. So they've done damage to a lot of teams, highly ranked, who a lot of people thought would be down here in Indianapolis. So this team is tested. They've defeated a lot of top teams on their schedule en route to get here.
And they're not just doing it, too. They're scoring a bunch of points a lot of times. You saw this note earlier. This was the first Roncalli team since 1999 to top 40 points in 3 consecutive games. Vote on the kick return here to the 25-yard line and brought down. That's where Hobart will start. Plenty of time to score. They've got one timeout, 4:55 on the clock. But this Roncalli team beat Guerin Catholic, Frankfurt in the sectional opener as well. 3 consecutive weeks, and then Crispus Attucks was the third team in the sectional semifinal. Scored 40 points in 3 straight games, And that's not something you see too often. This team with Leffler and Hubler and also Lockhart, who we've mentioned, big touchdown from Beckman on the last play. Those guys are just explosive at times, but they also can do it both ways as far as power runs like we see right here from Tyler Turley, as he has been running really hard. And he carried the pile for another yard or 2 here. Out across the 30, a pick of 6 on first down for number 47.
Yeah, and since their first couple possessions, Hobart has really settled down in terms of being able to run the football. They've had a lot more success with Turley. They've picked up a couple first downs. They've just not been able to sustain any of these drives. And Roncalli is able to make the stop, after Hobart maybe gets close to midfield. So they need to finish these drives off. They got to put one in the end zone here quick, as it's important to note Roncalli will get the ball to start the second half.
Man in motion, they fake it, throw middle. And this was caught by Vode, but in fact he's going to lose a yard, it looks like, or about half a yard. That was a dangerous pass. He had a defender right in his hip pockets, and that play was designed to go there the entire way, as the linebacker Phillips, who had the interception earlier, was right next to him, and as soon as he caught it, pushed him down.
It ended up being a dangerous play, but I like the play call because they have not had the opportunity to get the ball in the Vode's hands, so they tried to mix it up. They did something with Vode they haven't done yet today. Just run him across the middle on a short route to see if they can get the ball in his hands. It just didn't pan out.
Third down, Johnson in trouble, holding on to the football, wants to run, trying to dive for it on the sideline, but he's going to come up well short of the marker, only to his 32-yard line, with the first down sitting at the 35. So 3 yards short, down 21-0 with 3.5 to play. But with the ball being so deep in Hobart territory already, Coach Osika is sending out his special teams unit again. They will kick it away.
And that's where Johnston is so dangerous, getting him outside the pocket. he just had really one guy to beat, but it was a great open field play, not allowing Johnson to get any further.
Vode, who's unfortunately for Hobart had a great day punting. You never like to hear that, but he has, and he gets into another pretty good one here. Fair catch called for and made at their 35-yard line by Dominic Brown. And Roncalli, with 2 of their timeouts still remaining in this first half, will have plenty of time. 3:24 on the clock to add to an already commanding 21-0 advantage.
Yeah, I would say it's getting into dangerous territory here, but they're probably already there.
Yeah.
But you don't want to go down 4 scores for sure, knowing that Roncalli does have the ball to start the second half. Just come up with a way to get off the field here. Even if you're not able to put points on the board yourself, get a stop, get a little more confidence going in with your defense, and going into halftime down 21-0, and see if you can regroup somehow in the second half.
Man in motion, they fake it. Leffler will keep it up the middle, and good pursuit again. It's Vode coming off the side to make the tackle after a couple of yards for Leffler, as they had brought Lockhart in motion as a decoy on the play, but Vode was not fooled.
As Zach Vode came into this game with 68 tackles, he was second on the team, first among active players, as Cameron Smith has missed the last 2.
Hubler on the second down carry, and he inches them closer to the marker, about 1.5 yards short for Baron Hubler on a pickup of 5. It's third down as they rush to the line on this third down play. Again, out of the pistol formation. They turn, give it to Hubler, has the outside and the edge, and he's right near that midfield stripe again, a couple of yards short of it, but has enough for the first down. Ball at the 48, and they move the chains.
And brought down by Vode once again, who's all over the field on the defensive side.
Yeah, he's been impressive. If they can find a way to get him the football with a little bit of space on the offensive side, that's been their game all year long. Here's Hubler, ran into a crowd, and then kind of kicked out of there for a big gain on the play, especially on a first down type of run. Picks up 6 yards.
Yeah, Roncalli, they're still running their hurry-up offense. Just methodically moving the ball down the field. Got plenty of time with 2 minutes to play.
Hubler following big Grant Ray, his big right guard, as he pushed him forward and right at the marker, has another first down to the Hobart 42-yard line.
You watch this Roncalli team, and you just see how football has evolved. Back in the day, you're going to be a running team. You're doing it out of the power eye. Here, they're pretty much going spread. They're mixing up their formations. And then you wouldn't normally see running teams in a hurry-up, but that's exactly what Roncalli has been doing all year.
Clock inside of 2 minutes and ticking now as Hubler gets it again on first down. He's inside the Hobart 40-yard line to the 37 on a pickup of 5 yards on a first down carry. 140 and still ticking. And again, 2 timeouts for Roncalli.
Yeah, so they got plenty of time. They're not much in a hurry right now. They get up to the line of scrimmage quick.
Leffler fakes to Hubler. Now will keep it himself as he dives forward just short of another first down. And third down and 1 with the clock inside of 1:20 to play in this second quarter, opening half.
And that's Illinois State recruit Bobby Babcock in on the tackle there for the Brickies. And looks like we have a timeout for Roncalli.
And Coach Rodenberg will take one, looking for his 4th state championship as a head coach and his first here at Roncalli. 1:09 to play in this second quarter. 21-0 Rebels with the lead.
Best of luck to the Hobart Brickies from Hobart Professional Firefighters Union Local 1641. Go Brickies!
Want to watch live sports and community programming in the palm of your own hand? Download the new WJLB Network app. WJLB Network app gives you quick and easy access to your favorite WJLB Network live and on-demand events, including Jet in the Region, community programming, and sports. It's available on the Google Play Store and on the App Store.
Float 60 is a float therapy for muscle recovery, deeper sleep, and mental clarity. With locations in Chicago, Lake Zurich, and Cherryville, Indiana, Float 60 is offering great specials this holiday season. Order your contactless gift cards, which can be personalized and scheduled all via float60.com today. Gift cards are available for floating, cryotherapy, or calming retail gifts. Call 844-356-2860. Enter code BRICKIES at checkout for an extra $10 off any holiday special, gift card, package, or service.
Third down for Roncalli inside of Hobart territory as they inch toward a 4-touchdown advantage. They're a yard short of another first down at the Hobart 33-yard line. Need the 32, have 1:09 to do it, and have one timeout remaining, already leading 21-0. Excuse me, 2 timeouts remaining for Roncalli, or we'll get it straightened out. Scoreboard says
The
2.
scoreboard says 2.
I thought they called 2. I thought that was their second, but we'll get it straight before we tell you any further. 3rd down and 1. We know that for sure. Ball at the 33-yard line, as we mentioned, as they wait for the TV timeout, and TV rules all when it comes to it. If it was a regular high school game, after a minute, you just come back and you play. You got to make sure the folks with Fox Sports Indiana are back, and now they are. 3rd down. Hobart trying to get a stop and at least force them to go for it on 4th down as Lockard comes in motion. It's Leffler. Hubler works as a lead blocker, and enough space created up the middle as Leffler dives inside the 30 to the 29 for another first down.
Looked like Ryan Flores in on the tackle there for Hobart. Roncalli back quickly at the line.
Under a minute to play now. Roncalli with Leffler out of the shotgun. Low snap, looking to throw. He will. Lobbing it left side and over the top of his receiver. And I don't even think his receiver in that area, Michael Gallagher, who had that short touchdown to start the ball game, I don't even think he realized the ball was thrown up. He didn't make much of an effort.
Yeah, there may have been some miscommunication there on the route as to where Leffler expected him to be.
But the worst that could have happened is a short pass into completion, probably. So with this time remaining, 48 seconds, it's probably better to throw the incompletion. So not the worst thing for Roncalli with the 2nd down from the Hobart 29-yard line. And we'll see if they work the quarterback here. He will pass it again. Pressure from Babcock. Gets away from it. Now will fire on the run over the middle and incomplete. Looking for Cole Beckman. Good coverage. A lot of traffic in that area, too.
Yeah, no, Johnston was in the area for Hobart, as was number 19, Josh Tejada. Both in there. Nice coverage on that play.
You're right. You saw the...
It was Johnston who did get in there to deflect that ball.
Left-handed Johnston. If that pass was a little bit more out in front of Beckman that time, he might have gone to the house. Everybody had kind of shifted off to the right side of the formation. He had come from right to left. But instead, good hands, incomplete. 3rd down and 10. It's a give. Hubler pushing his big offensive lineman forward, and now he leans to the 20. He'll be just a yard short of the first down as the clock continues to tick. 30 seconds, and they will have to make a decision. The decision is timeout with 32 seconds to play. So Coach Rodenberg wants to make sure his team is on the same page. A 4th down decision. Will they just kick it and go for 3 or try to score another touchdown? We'll step aside. 32 seconds left in this first half. It's 21-0. Roncalli on top.
Region Snow Removal and Landscaping, 219-545-4832, is a proud sponsor of the Hobart Brickies. Go Brickies from the Reyes family.
This is Mayor Brian Snedeker. On behalf of the City of Hobart, we want to wish our Hobart Brickies a victory in Indy. Go get them, Brickies. We're proud of you, both on the field and all you do for this community.
Langel's Pizza in downtown Highland, voted best in the region. Come and join us for lunch or dinner. Still offering curbside pickup and delivery. Come watch the Bears take on the Packers on Sunday Night Football, featured on 42 of our HD TVs. Kickoff 7:20. 80-cent boneless and traditional wings covered in your favorite sauce. Enjoy our enclosed patio. Plenty of room for your comfort. Langel says congrats to the Brickies and good luck representing the region in the state finals. So make the trip to downtown Highland for the best sports bar around. For all the info, check out langelspizza.com. We'll see you there. Go Brickies!
4th down, and it looks like Roncalli has decided to go for it and try to score another touchdown. It's a direct snap right to the quarterback, who runs it forward and picks up the first down. And that's a little bit too easy for Leffler as he moves the chains. Clock stops on the first, and will reset now as they spot the football. 25 seconds and ticking in this quarter. Leffler snaps it at 22. They slide the pocket to his left, looking to throw as a man wide open. Corner, it is. Looked like it was caught. It's a touchdown. And again, little pitch and catch on the outside after the run up the middle. And it's Lockard for his second score of the ball game, and a chance for an even 4-score and 28-0 lead with the PAT coming.
Great job by Lockard keeping his feet in bounds. I think he may have gotten 2 feet in there. Yes, he did. He dragged that right foot and got the left foot in a second time as he didn't need to. And what an athletic play by Loeffler, throwing back against his body as he was rolling out to the left side, throwing back to the right with his right arm coming across. Tough athletic play.
Russell's been perfect on PATs, and Roncalli basically perfect themselves. 28-0, 16 seconds. We'll step aside real quick and come back with the final couple of ticks of this first half.
This is Dave Kuziak, owner of Kuziak Construction, with over 20 years of experience.
This is Bob Popovich, owner of Steel City Home Improvements, with over 40 years in business.
We are here to announce the big news. Kuziak Construction, your exterior experts, and Steel City Home Improvement have merged to create Kuziak Construction, your home improvement experts.
What customers can expect from us is the same great customer service with quality craftsmanship at competitive prices. Also, we can offer entire home improvement services, both inside and outside of your home. We also offer handyman service to complete any size job, big or small.
Roofing, replacement windows, decks, insulation, basement remodeling, bathrooms or kitchens. Kuziak Construction can handle it all. Quality craftsmanship at competitive prices. References available. Call Kuziak Construction at 923-3007 for free estimates.
Kuziak Construction, your complete home improvement experts.
16 seconds left in this opening half from Lucas Oil Stadium. 4A state championship game, Roncalli and Hobart's. It's been all Rebels in this ball game so far, as Hobart has not had an answer to Roncalli's offense and unable to put up and move the ball consistently on their offensive side. On the return, out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Hobart with 11 seconds left, only one timeout. Don't imagine they will attempt much here, either a kneel down or a run up the middle, and trying to avoid any more disaster. And don't forget, to add insult to injury, we will see Roncalli start with the football to start the second half.
Yeah, I would imagine Hobart's just going to take a knee here, get into halftime, but doesn't look like it, though, as they are coming out with 3 wide. And it might be because of what you just said, Roncalli having the ball start the second half. They're going to try and break something.
It's a give to Turley, maybe 2 yards, as he was wrapped up by one of those big D linemen, Brady Niu, who we talked about earlier, and that is the final play of this first half. It was domination by the Rebels. Roncalli leading 28-0 after this first half of play, on their way to being 4A state champions. We'll see if Hobart has an answer in this second half. We'll set that all up for you during the break. We will step aside, and the second half comes your way when we come back.
Region Snow Removal and Landscaping, 219-545-4832, is a proud sponsor of the Hobart Brickies. Go Brickies from the Reyes family. Aloso Construction Company was established in 2004. We are a full-service telecommunication and cable construction company. We specialize in outside and inside plant fiber optic coax construction, with the majority of our work being in the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana area. We have a comprehensive background in construction management and engineering with experienced crews. Contact us at 219-200-9188 or check us out online at alosoconstruction.com. Let's go Brickies from Aloso Construction.
Sign Gypsies of Hobart is your go-to place for signs to celebrate any occasion in Northwest Indiana. We specialize in yard greetings for birthdays, anniversaries, new babies, and any other big events. Book your sign today by calling 219-200-2800 or by visiting signgypsies.com. Best of luck to the Brickies at State from all your friends at Sign Gypsies.
Your Vito's Pharmacy locations offer a complete line of CBD products. These full-spectrum and broad-spectrum CBD oils, topicals, facial serums, and gummies offer many health benefits and may help with relief from pain, inflammation, and anxiety. We have CBD products for pets, too. Stop by one of our 3 convenient locations for more information, and our friendly staff will help you find the right CBD product for you. And in the month of December, get 20% off your CBD purchase if you mention WJOB. Visit our website, VitosPharmacy.com, to find the location nearest you.
Vito's Pharmacy.
The Hobart Family YMCA wishes the Brickies good luck in the state championship game today. The Hobart Family YMCA is offering a Black Friday membership special to help you jumpstart your new year right. Join the Hobart Family YMCA for just $1. That's right, just $1 before December 14th, and you won't make your first membership payment until January 5th, 2021. Come check out our newly renovated facility and see what the Hobart Family YMCA has to offer you. Visit our website, hobartymca.org, to sign up or learn more. Go Brickies!
This game is brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 697. Proud union electricians that have been safely wiring and contributing to the region for over 100 years. For more information, visit CertifiedElectrician.com. Best of luck to the Hobart Brickies from Hobart Professional Firefighters Union Local 1641. Go Brickies!
This is Dave Kuziak, owner of Kuziak Construction, with over 20 years of experience.
This is Bob Popovich, owner of Steel City Home Improvements, with over 40 years in business.
We are here to announce the big news. Kuziak Construction, your exterior experts, and Steel City Home Improvement have merged to create Kuziak Construction, your home improvement experts.
What customers can expect from us is the same great customer service with quality craftsmanship at competitive prices. Also, we can offer entire home improvement services, both inside and outside of your home. We also offer handyman service to complete any size job, big or small.
Roofing, replacement windows, decks, insulation, basement remodeling, bathrooms or kitchens. Kuziak Construction can handle it all. Quality craftsmanship at competitive prices. References available. Call Kuziak Construction at 923-3007 for free estimates.
Kuziak Construction, your complete home improvement experts.
First Merchants was founded on a principle. Banks should help their communities thrive. Over 125 years ago, a group of business owners created First Merchants to ensure our neighbors had a trusted place for their money. Today, we continue to serve with a dynamic and passionate spirit. For our clients and our communities, we are focused on solutions. Working together, we create them. Learn more at firstmerchants.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is Mayor Brian Snedeker. On behalf of the City of Hobart, we want to wish our Hobart Brickies a victory in Indy. Go get them, Brickies. We're proud of you, both on the field and all you do for this community.
Clogged drain, leaky faucet, water heater issues? Call Chalmers Plumbing today for all your plumbing service needs. 219-359-9291. That's 219-359-9291. Located locally here in Hobart, Indiana, and servicing all of Lake and Porter County. 24-hour emergency service with no additional fees. Find us on the web at Google, Yelp, and Facebook. Chalmers Plumbing. Call the best. Flush the rest.
Langel's Pizza in downtown Highland, voted best in the region. Come and join us for lunch or dinner. Still offering curbside pickup and delivery. Come watch the Bears take on the Packers on Sunday Night Football, featured on 42 of our HD TVs. Kickoff 7:20. 80-cent boneless and traditional wings covered in your favorite sauce. Enjoy our enclosed patio. Plenty of room for your comfort. Langel's says congrats to the Brickies and good luck representing the region in the state finals. So make the trip to downtown Highland for the best sports bar around. For all the info, check out langelspizza.com. We'll see you there. Go Brickies!
Float 60 is a float therapy for muscle recovery, deeper sleep, and mental clarity. With locations in Chicago, Lake Zurich, and Cherryville, Indiana, Float 60 is offering great specials this holiday season. Order your contactless gift cards, which can be personalized and scheduled, all via float60.com today. Gift cards are available for floating, cryotherapy, or calming retail gifts. Call 844-356-2860. Enter code BRICKIES at checkout for an extra $10 off any holiday special, gift card, package, or service.
As life changes, your insurance needs change. Shire Insurance Services in Crown Point has been helping clients with their changing insurance needs for almost 30 years. As an independent agency, we represent a variety of reputable insurance companies so we can offer the best coverage at the best price. Buying your first home? Start with Shire. Expanding your business? Start with Shire. Your teenage driver passed the driving test and you're worried about the increased cost of auto insurance? Start with Shire. The first baby is on the way and you want to reassess your life insurance? Start with Shire. Whatever your insurance concern or need, we are ready to help make those things easier for you. Call 219-663-7274 or search online to Start with Shire.
Remember, everyone, tune in from 3 to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday for the Region Rush Hour with Tony Panic and Sam Michael.
Well, Sam Michael and Tony Panic.
Well, yeah, Tony Panic, you know, we'll talk about it. Tune in, everybody.
Want to watch live sports and community programming in the palm of your own hand? Download the new WJLB Network app. WJLB Network app gives you quick and easy access to your favorite WJLB Network live and on-demand events, including Jet in the Region, community programming, and sports. It's available on the Google Play Store and on the App Store. It's now to talk with Hobart head coach Craig Osika. Of course, the Brickies heading down to the 4A state championship game this week at Lucas Oil Stadium. First time in about 25 years. 1996 was the last time Hobart made it to the state championship game. And, Coach, it's been a crazy season for sure for everybody, but you guys have that shot now that you've been thinking about, I'm sure, for definitely last year and all of this year to get to that state final game.
Yeah, I think that obviously everybody that's left standing has weathered the storm of COVID, and I'm sure that they all preach the same thing to their kids. That I told our kids, the teams that handle the adversity and the changes the best are the teams that will probably be standing at the end. And I have to give credit to my coaching staff, my administration at Hobart High School, but ultimately the players that were able to navigate through this crazy year with us, and essentially we've been pretty healthy, and we've only missed one game, and it wasn't due to anything on our end.
Is there anything that you guys did a little bit differently throughout your season, maybe with practices, or as far as trying to keep the guys either just to themselves by the team standard, or is it really anything that you maybe just got lucky, but is there anything you did all year long that you think helped contribute to kind of being a little bit more healthy?
I think a lot of it plays into what our administration did. We encouraged most of our players to do e-learning. We had the option to either e-learn or be in person. So I think I only had about 4 or 5 starters that were in person. The way that we ran practice, if we weren't in playing, we were 6 feet apart. We took water breaks in individual groups where they were we separated starting linebackers into different groups, starting linemen into different groups. And when we took water breaks, they were 6 feet apart. I had coaches monitoring that. I think that our practices changed a lot. You had to take different break times. You had to take longer break times. No use of locker rooms at any point during the week other than on game days. And at game days, I had kids everywhere. I had kids in the varsity locker room, the freshman locker room, the meeting rooms where they were socially distanced. So, there was a lot of changes, but again, I remember our first practice of the year was like an hour of me just explaining to the kids, this is how we're going to have to practice this year. This is how locker rooms are going to work. This is how water breaks are going to work. So that first week was just a lot of trial and error. And I'll tell you what, we've changed things up until last week to get better, in what we're doing and how we can make sure that we're staying safe.
When you look at it, too, I think one big thing that can help separate you guys, and you can talk about this, is that a lot of teams didn't have that summer filled with practice. You were probably hit and miss. You might have had a couple weeks here, then you had to take breaks, and everybody had different things going on throughout. And one thing that probably led to easier transition with the continuity, really, that comes with a senior quarterback. And Riley Johnson, I think, has probably been one of the main things that has allowed you guys to maybe not practice as much as usual, but still be just as sharp all year.
Well, I think that you look at our core seniors, a lot of those guys were big contributors last year to a semi-state team that fell short by 5 points. So we knew that was going to be a plus for us, having Riley at quarterback, having Zach, having Bobby, Tyler, Cam Smith, and those guys that were key fixtures in last year's season were big. We still did a lot of things via Zoom, film work, but it's not the same as getting on the field. Our big question mark was going to be our offensive line this year, and that was really where not having a summer, not going to our summer camp and competing there was really the question mark. And we didn't even know who our starting right tackle was on the Wednesday prior to the Chesterton game. So trying to figure that out and having those guys gel during a season instead of an off season was definitely the biggest challenge for us this year. And I think that those guys in the recent weeks, are starting to catch up to where we thought we'd be probably week 5, 6, 7 with that group. So they're starting to play their best football these past few weeks and in the playoffs when, and ultimately that's, I kept telling the guys, trust the process. Things are backed up. We have to be playing our best football week 10. And I think that that's probably the philosophy every coach used. And they did. They trust the process. They believed in us. They believed in themselves. And, we got better every week.
Coach, you mentioned Chesterton. You also play Maryville to start the year. That's 2 6A teams. Maryville just had their season end last week, and the semi-state obviously is talented. Really, you can say is a lot of teams in the state. Westfield just kind of got them late, but you know all about playing that tough schedule throughout the season. Even if you go down to play a lower class team, it's an Andrean who's part of the class of the 2A class, so to speak, and that I think always prepares you for where you get to today in facing the best of that 4A class all the way through the postseason.
Well, and that's why we schedule. I'll always make sure as long as I'm here and as long as the Duneland schools will do it well, our first 2 weeks will always be at Duneland schools. And we do that for this reason. We know that you watch Roncalli, you look at their roster and you look at them on tape, they're going to be very similar to Maryville. They're going to present the same challenges that Maryville did for us. And that's why we do that. We want to play the bigger schools that have the 2 platoons, that don't have guys going both ways, to prepare us for a playoff run and ultimately to prepare us for what will probably ultimately run it downstate. So I think that our kids are prepared. And I think that you get more out of, even if we were to lose, like, okay, last year we went 0-2 in those first 2 games. We learned more that in those 0-2 games than we did beating a lower level opponent, but, and have a running clock in those 2 games. So ultimately that's the philosophy. Our goal in those first 2 games is to go 1-1. And if we do that, we figure that we see that to be successful. Obviously we want to win every game, but we do those things for that reason, to prepare us for our ultimate goal.
Coach, let's talk a little bit more about that Roncalli team. They have a great history and a really great recent history too. You think about the Brickies, and a lot of the great success was the 80s and 90s, and you've spent your tenure trying to get back to that. Now here you are in the state championship. This is a team that just a couple of years ago was state champs, and I was reading through some of their history. They've got a giant media guide on their website full of all the stats and everything that goes with it. This is going to be a definite challenge to kind of culminate and be the cherry on top of your season.
Absolutely. They present challenges for us. They don't have anybody going both ways. We have at any point 4 or 5 guys on both sides of the ball going. They're bigger than us. That's pretty evident when you look at the rosters. But we're going to play our game. We're going to go in there. We're going to do what we do. And we're going to try to execute to the best of our ability. You look at their schemes, what they do offensively and defensively, it allows us to do what we do. Our kids got to be up for the challenge, and I know they will be. Obviously, it's a state championship game, and any coach that doesn't tell you that you got to play the best game of the year this week is probably lying to you. So, I think that our kids are excited. We're excited about the opportunity. We're just not happy with making it. We want to come out on top.
Before we talk about the last thing I want to get, which is your plans on Friday and how everything you hopefully plays out, but let's look back a little bit. Not to say that you haven't been tested the last 2 weeks, but those are obviously talented teams with Marion and in the regional as well, and those teams back. But so far, the toughest test was the Lowell Red Devils, and that was a game that you guys had to kind of grind out. And then we've seen 2 weeks after that where you scored a bunch of points. You had to win 10-7 in the sectional championship. So you've had kind of a diverse sort of path to get to this spot where you're at right now.
Well, I think you look at Lowell and Hobart. Lowell and Hobart, you look at every game that Lowell and Hobart's pretty much ever played, there's never really been a blowout. We beat them in the regular season last year. I think it was 35-0. I think we shut them out. And then they came back in the sectional championship and it was 20-0. So they made up 15 points. They know They know our system. They know what we do. We know what they do. So it's going to be a grind. And those kids, they're very well coached. Kilmer's got those kids coached up well. They're always going to be prepared for us. And we knew that was going to be a very challenging game for us. Especially nothing against, the teams with Hammond, Gavin, and Gary Westside. But again, playing those couple weeks and not playing a full game and your starters being out very early in the third quarter, if not even playing in the third quarter, presents a challenge for them to get back up for a game that is really, that where you got to get back and play it at a very high level. Lowell's Lowell. Hobart's Hobart. We're always going to be battle. I wouldn't have expected anything less than that. They had a really good defense. They came out with a great offensive plan. It's been kind of, weird making that, you look back at the playoff run that Lowell, statistically and score wise was our toughest opponent in the sectional championship up until now.
Yeah, we know we're going to get a tough one Friday for sure. Let's talk about this. Hobart, obviously, relatively new facilities, only a couple of years old. We got some great venues across Northwest Indiana, even across the state, but there's nothing quite like getting to Lucas Oil Stadium and getting a chance to play in an NFL venue like the guys are going to get Friday night. So just kind of talk about what your guys' plan is, when you're going to leave. If Friday morning, you obviously got to sandwich everything, makes it a little tougher around Thanksgiving, the holiday and stuff like that. So what's the plan Friday? And then we're wishing you the best of luck, of course, too.
I think Friday, our plan is right now we're going to depart here at 8:30 in the morning. We thought about staying the night, but then that presents another problem with COVID and everything, and then trying to find a spot. We figured playing a 3:00 game, 2:00 our time, gave us plenty of time to get down there. So we're going to leave here at 8:30. We got 3 charter buses going. We're going to stop in Lafayette, get them off the bus for about 20 minutes, let them get off, walk around. We're going to feed them in Lafayette. We plan on getting to Lucas Oil right around a little bit before noon or at noon. That gives us an opportunity to kind of stay on our normal game day schedule. I usually open the doors about 2 hours to 2 hours and 15 minutes prior to a 7:00 kickoff. So that gets us there at that point. Get our kids taped. It is going to kind of be a whirlwind once we're down there. They kind of explained it on Monday how it's going to work. You sit in an exhibition room. You do most of your warm-ups there. With the COVID, we're not even getting in the locker rooms until after we take the field for our pregame warm-up. So then you have to come back to the exhibition room, grab your stuff, go to that locker room, be back in the tunnel for announcements. So there's going to be some logistics that we're working out as a coaching staff. I'm going to have some coaches stay behind that will help move the players' stuff to our locker room so the players aren't worried about that. I think the biggest thing is some of our kids went down there on Monday. They got to see the stadium. Unfortunately, today would have been our day to go down there and practice, but you only get an hour, and it doesn't make sense for me on one of our biggest work days to take a 2-hour bus ride to practice for an hour and a 2-hour bus ride back. Logistically, we're the furthest team away playing in the state finals this year. So I'd rather stay here. We're going to practice in the Sparta Dome. We practiced in the Sparta Dome last night. We're practicing here tonight to give us an indoor atmosphere. I think that I just got to
Start of the second half here from Lucas Oil Stadium. You just heard Coach Craig Osika played that a bit in the pregame as well, talking about this tough matchup that Roncalli represents. And we have seen it in full force in this ballgame. Hobart kicking the ball away, and they try an onside kick. Roncalli all over it to recover it at their own 49-yard line. They'll have great field position to start this second half as well, as it was recovered nicely that time by Joey Milto. And Roncalli, a short field, and already up 28-0, and on their way to a 4A state championship, barring something that would be written about and talked about for the ages. We'd love to see it, trust me on that one, but Roncalli has controlled the ball game so far.
And I love the play call coming out. At this point, you're down 4 scores. What do you have to lose? I'm sure Roncalli was actually anticipating it a little bit too. Those guys did not break back.
Flea Flicker here looking for a big exclamation point to start this second half, and they deliver it. It's a touchdown. Kyle Lockard, 51 yards. Hubler back to Leffler, and it's quickly another score for the home team.
So you go into halftime and you see kind of what both teams were talking about. Hobart wanted to come out with a trick play to start the onside kick, see if they can get the momentum going. Well, Roncalli was sitting back and they knew what they wanted to do on their first possession. And this game, the second half starts out the same way the first half went, with Roncalli able to capitalize on the big play.
It's just so hard. Julian Ruiz in coverage. You're thinking about all the tackles that Zach Vode has made in the running game. And now what you see, as the PAT from Russell is good, it's 35-0, 10 seconds into this second half. What you see is guys down in the box, taking that extra step towards the line of scrimmage. Then the big play over the top. 35-0, Roncalli just starting this third quarter.
Aloso Construction Company was established in 2004. We are a full-service telecommunication and cable construction company. We specialize in outside and inside plant fiber optic coax construction, with the majority of our work being in the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana area. We have a comprehensive background in construction management and engineering with experienced crews. Contact us at 219-200-9188 or check us out online at alosoconstruction.com. Let's go Brickies from Aloso Construction.
Sign Gypsies of Hobart is your go-to place for signs to celebrate any occasion in Northwest Indiana. We specialize in yard greetings for birthdays, anniversaries, new babies, and any other big events. Book your sign today by calling 219-200-2800 or by visiting signgypsies.com. Best of luck to the Brickies at State from all your friends at Sign Gypsies. Junior kicker Luke Russell, perfect today on PATs, 5 for 5. And that means a lot of scoring when you're kicking that many PATs, obviously. And he's been perfect in that spot. This offense has been almost perfect. They've scored on 5 of 6 possessions. And Hobart's just trying to make this game interesting at the very least, as Vode fumbling the return a bit. Excuse me, that's Turley back there on the kick return, as Vode was back there as well. Now a flag flies in. This might be a late hit. The return by Turley, is out to about the 12-yard line. But this Roncalli team, we looked at all the stats coming into it. I saw the predictions from John Harrell, and, he's not perfect, but John Harrell's about as good as it gets, and knew this was going to be an upfield task for Hobart, and a personal foul is the call. So tack on 15 yards. Hobart will start at their own 27 as opposed to the 12. This is just not an easy team to try and play with here if you're Hobart. This Roncalli team is so impressive.
Yeah, because first of all, they're obviously so good in the run, and Hubler had 2,200 yards coming into the game, and then they just do such a nice job of mixing it up. Leffler picks his moments when to tuck and keep, and he can throw the ball, as we've seen today. He just doesn't need to very often. Leffler has completed 166 I'm reading wrong, 113 passes this year and had 19 touchdowns. So he was definitely capable, and we've seen that today.
Little end-around play coming off the right side to the left from Zach Vode. First time we've seen him get involved in what is technically a pass, because it was handed off forward to Vode out across the 30 to the 32-yard line. So 5 yards on that little half shovel, half handoff pass to Zach Vode. And it sets up a second down and 5. Just not able to get it to that guy. And if you're watching on TV and maybe listening to us, which we appreciate, or if you look back later, like we could see, here's a run up the middle and a good one for a first down to the 40-yard line from Turley. But you would be able to see a safety over the top wherever number 83 lines up, whether it's to the quarterback Johnston's right or to his left. There has been safety help because they know there's such a huge difference between Zach Vode and everybody else when it comes to the receiving game. He caught 54 passes. The next highest receiving total was Enslin with 11 catches. So it's really been run or throw it to 83 if there's been a pass this year. Here's a pass from Johnston, and he fires short right and incomplete. He was trying to find Vode. There was some pressure coming. I think he was thinking about evading a would-be tackler before he caught the ball.
Yeah, Roncalli knew they need to control Vode first of all, and they're doing that with safety help, as you said, all game long. And then they need to keep Johnston in the pocket. And Johnston has not been able to get going his run game. Anytime he does get outside the pocket, the Roncalli defense swarms around him. He only had one run when he was able to get maybe 3 or 4 yards. Other than that, he's been held in check.
Second and long run as they hand it up the middle to number 47. And Tyler Turley, who's had a decent game, especially given the fact that his team's been shut out, has the biggest play on the ground of 25, picks up 5 here, and makes it much more manageable on third down as Hobart gets near midfield.
You know, Turley's success is because so much attention is being paid to Vode and so much attention is being paid to Johnston, and they're willing to give up a few yards up the middle to Turley, but Hobart has just not been able to sustain any sort of a drive to this point.
They bring a couple in motion. Carlson, one of them, to the left side of the formation to help block on this play. Trying to hold the pocket for Johnson as he lobs it. Looking between the hash marks and looking for a big play on third down to Vode, but incomplete. And on 4th and 5, we'll see what Coach Osika wants to do, and it looks like he will punt the football away.
Pretty good coverage there on Vode. Little overthrown. It would have taken a perfect pass to connect with him there, but that's just so much attention being paid on Vode. And again, as we just said, he's just not able to get any separation because Roncalli is paying him so much attention.
That was Hagwood in coverage on that time. We've also seen Skylar Phillips, who had an interception on a pass intended for Vode when he actually wasn't actually guarding Vode on the play. He was on Carlson's coverage underneath. And then he made an interception on a pass over the top. Good bounce here on the punt from Vode. He said, again, you almost hate to say it, the best part of his game today has been the punting game, and he's been asked to do it a lot. As he pins Roncalli inside their own 25, almost to the 20 at the 21. It's just been a tough game so far for Hobart to get any kind of footing. And again, Coach Osika talked about it. He felt like they were going to have to play almost a perfect game to beat this Roncalli team. All the guys, they don't have a ton of guys who play both ways, but 4 or 5 like you mentioned, but it just so happens it's really the 4 or 5 most important guys, Johnston, Vode, all those guys who do so much for this team. Turley. Hubler gets the carry here on first down as he dives forward another extra couple of yards. Those are those tough yards that you kind of forget about after the guy picks up the first. What should have been 3 or 4 turns into 6 on that carry, but that's the difference when you get to some of these teams around here, Coach, you mentioned, is all these Indianapolis schools have that extra depth.
Yeah, absolutely. And you take a look at the conference, the Circle City Conference that Roncalli plays in. They have 3 teams out of that conference here playing in state finals this weekend, Bishop Chatard and Coveted Christian being the other 2. In fact, this Roncalli team did not even win their own conference this year, which tells you just how much talent there is down here in the Indianapolis area.
Here's Hubler on the carry, has first down yardage and much more across his own 35-yard line. And Hubler continues to add to his impressive day. He's well over 100 yards now on the ground. He almost had gotten there right before half. I think at the half he had 99. And so here he is getting over 100. Yes, that is the case. And these couple of runs to start it have put him over the century mark.
And that was Julian Ruiz in on the tackle for Hobart.
Tough day when you've a lot of those tackles. We have not called the defensive lineman making them. We've called Zach Vode and Ruiz and even Riley Johnson at times. Those guys have had to come down and make tackles. Here's Vode on another tackle on a Hubler run, this one for 5 yards.
And the offensive line for Roncalli does a tremendous job of occupying the defensive front of Hobart, even able to get there to the second level to take out the linebackers, which is why guys like Vode and Turley need to come up from the secondary. Roncalli knows they need to get a body on Babcock, and we've only called his name a few times today because they're doing such a good job of keying on him.
2nd down and 5. Heavy dosage of Baron Hubler as the ball comes out. And a bunch of people screaming for it, and yes, Roncalli able to grab it. In fact, Hubler lost it for a second, able to get it himself. And where he ended up is just short of a first down at his own 46-yard line. He needs one more yard. Good hands as Babcock got it. And the ball then, kind of a backspin, came right back to Hubler as it caught the nose of the football and then came right back to him. That's the kind of day it has been so far here at Lucas Oil Stadium. Third down. Hubler going to be short of the first down as they finally get to the backfield. Babcock in there.
And you want to see why Babcock's having a hard time getting in there making plays. That was number 63 on that last play, Grant Ray, 6'3", 310 pounds offensive lineman who is out there getting the hit on Babcock. to try to free up space. When you got that kind of offensive line to run behind, you see why they're getting 3-4 yards before contact. But a key stop there for Hobart, forcing the punt.
Yeah, you mix in two. Sam Seacrest, he's on the right side of that line, 6'6", 255. You don't see guys walking around the streets like that all the time. They're probably an athlete. Only the second punt of the game from John Troxel. And it is going to be a disaster as it's fumbled on the potential punt return. Turley had come up to catch it. He lost the football, and it's recovered
by Joe Curd.
Joe Curd of Roncalli will set up the Rebels inside, deep into Hobart territory, and trying to go up another score, already up 35-0.
2 or 3 different guys had an opportunity to pick that ball up, and they were all thinking scoop and score. As number 53 went in there first, and he got hit by his own player.
That was Erickson.
Erickson came in there and prevented Daniel O'Connor from getting the ball before it was finally recovered. But, yeah, they were all thinking 6. They all wanted to be a part of a touchdown, score a touchdown here in the state finals.
Yeah, it's always cool to score a touchdown when it says Indianapolis under your feet.
Absolutely.
That's a cool thing to do for sure. 1st and 10, Roncalli at the 25-yard line of Hobart. Gave up the middle. And hard running again on the cutback from Hubler. And, you know, a lot of these guys you see even in the NFL, right? These guys who are these every down backs don't always stay on the field for literally every carry, but Hubler pretty much has. You can probably count on your one hand the number of times he has not carried the football, unless, of course, it's the quarterback Leffler. I don't, in fact, remember any times on designed runs that it hasn't been number 35. Here's a swing out to the right. This pass is complete. And caught out there by Gore, but not much. A couple of yards off the catch. And tackled just inside the 20 at the 18-yard line, so 3rd and 3 coming up.
Baron Hubler, he's a senior. He goes 5'9", 185 pounds. He had 293 carries on the year coming into the game. Leffler being the next closest, the quarterback, at 166. And then you have to go down to Luke Hansen, who had 25 attempts. So as you said, Sam, it's all going to be Hubler. Hubler left, Hubler right, Leffler mixed in there. He is he's the key that makes this team go.
3rd down and 3. It's Hubler again behind a wall of blockers. Now cuts it outside, trying to turn it into a big play. Down to the sideline, flag flies in. He's inside the 5 for now. But we'll see if that flag, which probably in the area of holding, will bring it all back.
Yeah, and that's probably going to come back, but that play just showed great vision and the great speed that Hubler has. It looks like Hobart had that strung out, and I know that play he had the help of the hold, but he just did a tremendous job of sprinting to the sideline and able to make something out of nothing.
So a 10-yard penalty from that spot, which was right near where the marker was, and that saves everything. I mean, he was going to be inside the 5, 1st and goal coming up, and the holding on the outside from Cole Beckman. The receiver, as Johnson did a nice job to force that call. And so a 3rd down, and they'll say 8 yards. So I guess the official spot of the foul was 2 yards past the marker. So 3rd and 8 coming up, and we've already seen pretty much 4-down territory you can guarantee from this Roncalli offense.
Yeah, at this point in the game, we haven't seen a field goal attempted yet, and I wouldn't expect, unless maybe they get a little closer and just want to give their kicker an opportunity to make one in the state finals.
Leffler going to throw it as he swings it out complete down the sideline, cuts it back towards the middle of the field, and then hit hard that time by Zach Vo. But the completion to John Troxel, and a 1st down for Roncalli. They're inside the 10, 1st and goal.
Yeah, nice pass as the Hobart defender came up. Looks like he had an opportunity to maybe get a deflection on that. I believe that was Tejada who just missed that ball, and nice little pitch and catch for Troxel.
Yeah, some of these, you think about these plays that have gone for long touchdowns. A couple were wide open guys, but a few of them were, contested coverage right on the hip and a perfectly thrown ball from Leffler. And then they did the rest after the catch. But sometimes you wouldn't know on an incompletion that it was that close to a touchdown. Here's a Hubler run up the middle for a couple. 2nd and goal now coming from the 7-yard line after the 2-yard gain.
Hubler just kind of dances behind that offensive line. He's real patient, waiting for those blocks to open up.
Leffler looking over to his sideline to change up this play on 2nd down. Still plenty of time on the play clock here with 10 seconds. Barking out commands inside a mostly quiet Lucas Oil Stadium. on second and goal. It's Hubler who looks to his left and able to dive forward for maybe an extra half yard or so as he lunged that ball, looking for the better spots. They spot him at the 3 and a third down. And goal to go situation.
Yeah, it looked like the initial hole was not there. It looked like he wanted to go off guard, had bounced it to the outside a little bit, was able to pick up a couple more yards. Or maybe that's where he wanted to get the entire time. It was just patient, like once again.
Getting to the line quickly here, and another Hubler run, this time not much, a yard. As Babcock, when he's gotten anywhere near the line of scrimmage, he's made the tackle, and that's what he does. But that offensive line's done such a good job of keeping him away from the play. He hasn't had as much impact as he would like, and things are tougher when you can concentrate more on Babcock without Cam Smith back there in that linebacking core. And this team has missed him today for sure. 4th down and goal. Direct snap to Hubler. Hubler diving for the end zone. Depends on the spot. Looks like a pretty good one. And there it is. It's a touchdown from 2 yards away. Hubler in for the score. And another touchdown for this Roncalli offense.
Yeah, Hubler that time jumped from about the 2-yard line, was able to extend that ball across, as it looked like might be Vode was in there, had his feet from the backside.
He's been impressive. Hubler has picked up the tough yardage. And you see Hubler over 140 yards, 143. That's his first score. Aiden Leffler had. Remember, they were all passing touchdowns. It's a couple of short ones, but a couple long ones as well mixed in. And again, Russell stays perfect. 42-0 our score. Roncalli on top as they lead big late in this third quarter here in the 4A state championship game.
Region Snow Removal and Landscaping, 219-545-4832, is a proud sponsor of the Hobart Brickies. Go Brickies from the Reyes family.
This is Mayor Brian Snedeker. On behalf of the City of Hobart, we want to wish our Hobart Brickies a victory in Indy. Go get them, Brickies. We're proud of you, both on the field and all you do for this community.
Langel's Pizza in downtown Highland voted best in the region. Come and join us for lunch or dinner. Still offering curbside pickup and delivery. Come watch the Bears take on the Packers on Sunday Night Football, featured on 42 of our HD TVs. Kickoff 7:20. 80-cent boneless and traditional wings covered in your favorite sauce. Enjoy our enclosed patio. Plenty of room for your comfort. Langels says congrats to the Brickies and good luck representing the region in the state finals. So make the trip to downtown Highland for the best sports bar around. For all the info, check out langelspizza.com. We'll see you there. Go Brickies!
Late in quarter number 3, 3:06 to play. It's been all Roncalli in this one with Tim Fedler. I'm Sam Michael. A tough one for Hobart. That, of course, no matter what, the state championship was going to end their season, but you like to be one of those few teams that has their last game not be a loss. There's only really 6 teams that get to say it in the entire state. Now, this is a weird year where that doesn't always happen with coronavirus ending some team's season. We saw that happen with Clark Soccer, of course, locally. Their sectional championship, then they couldn't play the regional, so technically their final game was a win. But pretty much in a normal season, that final game is so often a loss for everybody, except for 6 teams down here at Lucas Oil Stadium, and it looks like, barring a huge turnaround, Roncalli will be that team. And we've talked about it off the air, more so a little bit on the air, just how tough it is to compete, especially with these Indianapolis teams, but also a private institution like Roncalli is here. As this one, the kickoff from Luke Russell goes into the end zone for the touchback. Hobart will start at their own 20, but it is so tough when you have to play guys, the same guys at multiple spots, pretty much the entire ball game. And then you look on the other side of the field, and I mean, you're talking big-time college stuff where it's one side of the ball. You worry about being the defensive end. You don't have to be the defensive end, a linebacker maybe, and a halfback, and all that stuff that we see from a team like Hobart.
You look onto the sideline, that allows the position coaches, that allows the coordinators to gather up those units and sit there and have conversations with them. The defensive line right now is on the sideline talking to the defensive line coach or the defensive coordinator. And that's just a huge advantage as to where they can get that extra instruction, they can get that extra coaching, plus not to mention they're able to catch their breath and be fresh when they go back on the field.
First down run for Tyler Turley. A couple of yards on his dive up the middle. 2 officially. Second down and 8 coming up for this Hobart offense. And the real story has been just how impressive this Roncalli offense has been, but lost in all the scoring. Again, another 40-plus point game for this offense has been how good their defense has been. I mean, I think only 2 or 3 plays run in Roncalli territory. Had the big Turley run, then 3 plays after that. And I think on the last Hobart drive, they were just inside Rebel territory to run a couple of plays there. Here's a big play down the sideline. It was caught but out of bounds as they were looking for Vode, and he made the catch, but well outside the field of play. Third down coming up.
And that's where Hobart's had a lot of success this year. So it looks like Zach Vode is remaining on the sideline, getting looked at by the Roncalli trainer.
Well, that may be one of those injuries where it's I'm exhausted.
Yeah, just give me a moment.
Give me a second, because he gets up and he seems to be all right. He's got a bright future ahead of him. Zach Vode has been a huge part of this football team, games we've covered the last few years, and all 4 years here as a Bricky. And he's played his butt off in this one, both sides of the ball. We talked about all the tackles he's had, and going up to try to make that tough catch on the sideline there. All out for this Hobart team, a guy to be proud of for sure.
You know, that's where Hobart had success this year. You go back shoulder to Vode, you throw the jump ball up to him, and they just have not been able to connect with him tonight, and that's a big part of their offense all year long.
The pursuits, nobody could get open with Vode off the field. Owen Volk coming off the edge as Johnson had to hold on to it. As he just tried to evade him and take off, Volk came behind and brings him down for a 7-yard loss and a sack.
And these are moments all year when Johnson gets outside the pocket, the play breaks down, he tucks and runs, and you see him go for 40, 50, 60 yards. But that team speed we have not talked about much today of Roncalli. These corners are coming from the outside, usually the opposite direction, and they're tracking Johnston down from behind.
Another punt, as this one is much higher than it is long. Caught at the Hobart 35 by Brown, and then a couple of yards forward before he is tackled. So with the punt deep in their own territory, Hobart gives Roncalli great field position again. Already Roncalli leading 42-0, 1:26 to play in this third quarter, and a chance to go up even more.
Good news for Hobart is that was Vode back in on the punt. So after seeing him jog off the field, like we said, may have just been more exhaustion than anything else, he hopped right back out there to complete that punt for the Brickies.
Coach Rodenberg, as we mentioned, first year at Roncalli. It's a Roncalli team that went 7-6 last year. Very unlike this school. Great history. Hubler bounces it out to the left. And right near that 25-yard line, about a yard or two short of the first down. But this is a team that's won 9 state championships. They've got all the accolades you can think about. I mean, they had the media guide they put together for us is outstanding. 9 state championships, including 4 in this century. And Coach Rodenberg, who we mentioned, had won 3 state championships in 2 different states, Ohio and Kentucky. Roncalli, though, the tied for the 4th most state titles. Now they will jump into a third place tie. Still be 1 short for Lewis. Here is no gain on this play. Or is there a fumble?
There's a fumble on the play, and if I'm not mistaken, that was Ryan Flores who got his arm in there, got his hand in there, and you saw him rip away at it. He was definitely going for the ball and was able to get that ball out. So a big play for Hobart here towards the end of the third quarter to get the ball back and prevent Roncalli from going in for another score.
Yeah, I didn't hear too many. Usually hear all that commotion when there's a fumble. People start screaming, and nobody really said anything until I saw Riley Johnson start pointing the other direction, and sure enough, football comes out. You see it on the replay for the folks here in stadium. And nice job by the folks to get in there. Good job by Flores to recover it.
Alex Pickett was in there on the tackle as well, holding them up as Flores was able to come in and rip that ball out.
So Hobart takes over, and on first down, it's a run from Tyler Turley. And a good run on first down of 7 yards. As we'll see what kind of pace Hobart wants to work with. Under 30 seconds to play in this third quarter with the clock ticking And probably time, unless there's a pass incomplete, for one final play if it's a run in this third quarter.
I'd like to see a heavy dose of Turley here. They've had a lot of success with him running up the middle. See if they can sustain a few first downs by just going behind Turley.
Gets it on back-to-back carries, and he only needed 3, and he's got it for the first down. Clock stops momentarily at 2 seconds, but as soon as they spot it, that will wind out our third quarter. So a couple more scores on the board for Roncalli in quarter number 3. They are right now 12 minutes away from their 10th state championship. Hobart with the football, trying to get on the scoreboard when we come back.
Your Vito's Pharmacy locations offer a complete line of CBD products. These full-spectrum and broad-spectrum CBD oils, topicals, facial serums, and gummies offer many health benefits and may help with relief from pain, inflammation, and anxiety. We have CBD products for pets, too. Stop by one of our 3 convenient locations for more information, and our friendly staff will help you find the right CBD product for you. And in the month of December, get 20% off your CBD purchase if you mention WJOB. Visit our website, VitosPharmacy.com, to find the location nearest you.
Vito's Pharmacy.
This game is brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 697. Proud union electricians that have been safely wiring and contributing to the region for over 100 years. For more information, visit CertifiedElectrician.com.
Just saw a nice commercial inside the stadium for officiating. Got to get more people officiating on a serious note. As a person who officiates basketball, and when I have time and I'm not coaching, do some baseball and softball as well. Could use a lot more folks to get out there. Coach, obviously you don't have time to do basketball, but I know you've done some football in previous years. It's fun to do it for the most part. The parents and fans at times make it a little bit tougher to get people to commit to do it, but it's a lot of fun, I think, for the guys and gals who enjoy doing it. And speaking of which, us being from Northwest Indiana, of course, have to mention, I was on the phone earlier when he came up to say hello. Andy Simpson will be working the next game. Westfield, who we just saw last week, will try for a state championship. And Andy Simpson and his crew from Northwest Indiana from the Lake County Officials Association will have the 6A state championship coming up next, about an hour or so after our game. So we're always looking for more officials, and you never know if you're any good. Maybe you find your way to officiating a game on the same field as the Colts play at.
Yeah, I have my license in football, baseball, softball, and I do have my basketball license as well, though I haven't done a game there in many years. But that's something these young college kids need to learn, that you can make a lot more money officiating than you can going to Walmart, going to McDonald's. It's a fun way to earn some money in college, and you end up liking what you do and you stick with it. It's a nice little second job as you start your career later in life. So definitely something I always try to tell students to go ahead and get into, because it was always better for me to do that growing up. When I was in college, I was a sub because I knew I was going to teach. I officiated. I enjoyed doing that stuff. I never went to McDonald's. I never went to Walmart, Kmart, got jobs there because, I'm going to do what I enjoy doing, and I know you can make good money doing it.
After a Riley Johnson first down run to the 47, it's Turley on the carry across midfield for 6 yards. But yeah, it's 100%. I told my buddies for years they would be working at the town and cutting grass and doing all that stuff. Nothing against it, but it's just a little bit easier, and they don't, unless you get to a certain amount at a certain school, it's not as easy to get the taxes from you.
Absolutely.
It's a little bit nicer than seeing basically a third or so of your paycheck go to taxes. They hand you, now it's all over the internet and it goes right in your bank account, but they used to hand you 50, 60, 70. Now it's some schools up to about $80 on the check. But it's nice with the money, but it's also just, if you love sports, it's a fun way to stay in the ball game. Turley left side for a yard, and a third down coming up at the Roncalli at 46. They need 3 to go, so 3rd and 3. But it's a ton of fun. I mean, I love doing it, even when I kind of like when people scream at you, but I'm weird like that sometimes. So what can you do?
Actually, that was Mark Enslin, I believe, on his first carry of the day. Enslin actually was the starting running back the first 4 games of the year, I believe, when Turley was not out there. So Enslin, the junior, I believe, as I'm
Yes, he's the backup quarterback, too.
Yes, and he had 88 attempts on the year for 536 yards and 7 TDs. So
Johnson, nice play here to try to get to the edge. I think he's just short, about a yard or so of the marker, and it'll be 4th down and not even a yard, about half a yard to go.
Well, I know if you really want to make extra money, too, those softball tournaments that run every weekend all summer long, you know, my dad still does those, 75 years old.
Fast pitch?
And, yeah, he'll do fast pitch softball. He'll do 18, 19 games a weekend and sometimes call me up on a Sunday night and tell me he just made $400 in 2.5 days. So,
but he can't move for 3 more. So,
and the sad part is half the time he'll tell me he's not the youngest one out there. So we need younger people to get out there to be involved.
Big hit here, but after the first down, as Shirley was back in to pick it up, Caden Meek met him right at the 41-yard line. Kind of like a brick wall. Turley hit him, and he's not a small dude himself. It just went right down there. You don't see that too often when number 47 runs the football, but he moves the chains. Clock ticking as we approach 10 minutes to play in this 4th quarter. Roncalli up 42-0.
Important drive here for Hobart, and obviously not for the outcome of the game. This game is pretty much decided. But you don't want to come down the state and get shut out. You want to get in the end zone. You want to put 6 on the board. You know, so this might be the best opportunity Hobart has had right now. You probably have some second stringers in there for Roncalli, and I think even Hobart's got some of those in there as well. But regardless, you don't want to go home with a shutout when you've had the great season that Hobart has had this year. You want to end on somewhat of a high note.
2 yards on the carry on first down, puts it just inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. Turley back there with one big blocker is Carlson, and Turley goes right. Weaving back towards the middle of the field, just outside the numbers, and close to the marker, about a yard short. We'll set up a 3rd and very manageable here.
Yeah, obvious 4-down territory, so you got a couple downs to pick up a yard as Hobart's able to sustain a drive here a little bit. You know, Coach Osika took over this Bricky team 3 years ago, and in Hobart's first year, they lost the first game to Mishawaka Marion, first game in sectional play. Made it to semi-state a year ago and returned pretty much that entire team, as we talked about earlier, which allowed them to make the next step here.
Yeah, and that'll be the tough part next year. A lot of these guys, seniors graduating. Johnston going to take a shot, looking down the right side. It was almost intercepted. And I think the DB back there thought he had the football and was ready to make a move upfield. And that was Andrew Bow, the sophomore DB, who almost had it. It was right there. They were looking for Vode, and that was exactly. In fact, you know what? Vode came back and knocked it out of his hands is what happened. Looking at the replay here, Bow had it, and then the left hand of Vode saved the INT.
Yep, he went to tuck that ball into his chest, and Vode came around, and like you said, the left hand got right on the ball. Great play by Zach Vode.
4th down, it's a run, and a conversion. Diving forward was Tyler Turley. Plenty of yards. Didn't need much, about half a yard. He picks up 3 or 4.
So Osika got here 3 years ago, and he inserted a motto, play 15, because he wanted to get these kids back believing to where Hobart used to be in the 80s and the 90s, where they thought it was a rite of passage to be playing on Thanksgiving weekend.
Right.
Unfortunately, they make it to state this year, and they only got to play 14 games. The game of Lowell early in the year was postponed due to COVID, canceled. But the end result is the same. They want to be playing Thanksgiving weekend. This is the goal that he got these guys believing in when he got here 3 years ago. And like in 3 short years, they've reached their goal. And I think, it's young kids on the roster are now going to want to keep this going.
And we saw some guys warming up, too, on the field here, who I was talking to you. And folks who don't know, you, of course, coach the girls basketball team at Hobart, teaching in the system at Hobart's. And so know some of the guys coming through that will be a part of this team. And you were telling me one of the guys who was just casually chucking the ball around, casually throwing it 35, 40 yards on the run, and just flipping it around, having some fun. That it looked like from up here, and we've got a high perch, but it looked like one of the 8th graders who may be one of the future quarterbacks of the program. And also there's some other guys who are in contention for that. Enslin, of course, who is the backup last couple of years to Johnston. Johnston, younger brother on that list of potential suitors. So it's not like you're just, oh, well, we've got this guy and we feel okay about him. We've got 3 or 4 guys coming through the system that we feel really good about. And that's how you maintain success of sectional, regional, playing for semi-state and playing for state championships.
Yeah, and Hobart's going to lose a lot of tremendous seniors, obviously, but that's a very good junior class that they have as well. So this is not a one-and-done thing. Osika was not building for 1 year. Sure, this was a great class, and this was the class that people looked at years ago. I've been at Hobart now for 4 years, and I've been hearing about this class, and they thought they were going to get here last year and just came up a little short against East Noble. But this was the team, I think, that they leaned on to put them back on the map. And if you look up and down the roster, you notice a lot of names whose fathers played on some of those teams, whether it was the 80s or the 90s. So those families have stayed in Hobart. They've had kids, and now their kids are starting to get back to where their parents played, 20 years ago.
What's that Bricky song?
Well, it's once a Bricky, always a Bricky.
Yeah, something like that.
Is the motto in Hobart, and we learned that when we're hired in day one, in that town. And
is there like a hypnotism thing that they do?
yeah, it's been joked.
Like a ceremony?
That's kind of like a cult in Hobart, around once a Bricky, always a Bricky.
We'll say it in a good way, though.
In a good way. It's absolutely in a good way. There's a lot of pride there in not just the school city of Hobart, but the city of Hobart as well, supporting these athletes.
Johnson lobbing it end zone, and this time Bow has his interception as Johnson underthrew his intended receiver. And Andrew Bow, the sophomore DB, thought he had one about 2 minutes ago. This time he comes away with the interception in the end zone for the touchback. And with 5:34 to play, Roncalli has preserved their shutout. They had Vode kind of going for an up and out, and he just never quite got to the out parts. It was good coverage from Greg Kirkman, and Bow, as I said, came underneath and intercepts the football.
Yeah, we're obviously a Hobart broadcast here. We're local radio. You don't want to root necessarily for the other team, but to see Bow able to come up with that interception after dropping that one, that's good for the kid. He felt kind of bad. He wanted to make that play in the state final, so nice to see him able to come up and make up for that drop earlier. But, just unfortunate there for Hobart. They were moving downfield, had an opportunity to put one in the end zone. And there's still time left to do so, so you don't want to get shut out here. Hopefully they can come up here, get a quick 3 and out, and duplicate that drive and then take it one step further and put it in the end zone. But, you look up and down this roster, and like I said, I've only been to Hobart for 4 years, so I don't know everybody there yet, but I know names like Leonard and Turley and Ellis, whose fathers have, played on state finals teams. And even one interesting name here, me being a Lowell graduate, I see the name Alex Pickett, and his dad, Mike Pickett, was on the 94 Lowell team that made it to semi-state, and that was really the start of the Kurt Kennedy era. That was the first great Lowell team that they had. They actually beat Hobart in I believe it was the regional that year, behind Pickett, and now his boy is out here, and he's a Bricky, and I believe that he got his first teaching job, I think, in Hobart, and they've been a part of that school system now, and just nice to see familiar names like that. And tells you you've been around a long time when you start the people you grew up with, people you knew whose kids are now playing sports.
Flag comes flying in, or at least a whistle. I don't see a flag officially, but the officials stopping this play. They're going to say, okay, the quarterback, when he fielded the snap, his knee was down. So the running back one of the two was already down. And so it's a big loss. Caden Gore now playing at the quarterback spots. But I think from our angle, yes, it looks like it. That's still Hubler. So I don't know what it takes for him to come off the field. It seems like a lot. Up 42-0 with 5 minutes left as he gets the yardage back. They just lost on first down, but third down coming up and 10 to go.
Look like Ryan Flores on the tackle.
Okay, well, that will be it for Hubler now. That was what they wanted to do, get him one more carry and have him run off the field and say congratulations, because you're just under 5 minutes away from being the state champion.
35 carries, 151 yards, and 1 touchdown for Baron Hubler, the outstanding senior running back for Roncalli. I believe he led the state in rushing this year. Coming into the game, had 33 touchdowns, which led the state, and was second with yards with 2,172. Again, that was coming in to play here this evening.
Gallagher, his replacement, up the middle for about 6, but that's not enough. So on 4th and 4, for only the 3rd time today, Roncalli will kick the football away. And Hobart will have one more chance to get on the scoreboard. Tyler Turley standing back at his own 40-yard line.
And this is a Hobart team. You look back here, they were in the state finals in 79, 80, 82, 84, 85. I mean, it seemed like every other year Hobart was playing for a state championship back in the 80s and 90s.
That's felt like it. Hobart timeout, 3:50 to play. They'll have one more offensive possession when we come back.
As life changes, your insurance needs change. Shire Insurance Services in Crown Point has been helping clients with their changing insurance needs for almost 30 years. As an independent agency, we represent a variety of reputable insurance companies so we can offer the best coverage at the best price. Buying your first home? Start with Shire. Expanding your business? Start with Shire. Your teenage driver passed the driving test and you're worried about the increased cost of auto insurance? Start with Shire. The first baby is on the way and you want to reassess your life insurance? Start with Shire. Whatever your insurance concern or need, we are ready to help make those things easier for you. Call 219-663-7274 or search online to Start with Shire.
Remember, everyone, tune in from 3 to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday for the Region Rush Hour with Tony Panic and Sam Michael.
Well, Sam Michael and Tony Panic.
Well, yeah, Tony Panic, you know, we'll talk about it. Tune in, everybody.
Under 4 minutes to play in this 4A state championship. Roncalli up big in this one. Will kick it away. Hobart, one more chance to try and get on the scoreboard. On the punt here from Troxel. And Turley, not much on the return. It's maybe a yard or two after the catch to his own 43-yard line. And that's where Hobart will start on what looks to be their final offensive drive of this magical season.
Yeah, one last opportunity for Hobart to try and put the ball in the end zone. Haven't been shut out all year. Of course, you only lose 2 games all year. There's not very many options for that. 2 losses coming to Maryville, 23-7 in week 2. And then to Andran, 35-24 back on September 25th.
No offense to either of those 2 programs, but this Roncalli team is definitely the best competition of the season. As Tyler Turley on the first down carry picks up 4 yards to his right, just outside the hash marks, and a couple yards short of midfield.
And this was a year, and I think most people knew, the dominant teams in Class 4A were in the South. You know, if you looked at the state rankings at any point in the year, Hobart was usually the top-ranked team from the North, and it was usually around 5, 6, or 7 after they were ranked 1 early on and then lost that when they lost to Maryville.
Nice hole left side for Turley into Roncalli territory, and just enough for the first down as they move the sticks with 3:04 to play. As the clock will again start to tick once they set the ball at the Roncalli 47-yard line.
Hobart has not scored less than 10 points on the year, and that came in a sectional championship game against Lowell.
Interestingly enough, we kind of all thought that would be an okay game, but I thought that Hobart would pull away late, win by a couple scores, but Lowell gave them their toughest test until obviously today. And Coach Osik and I talked about just that fact. Turley, again, just kind of changing pace, right one side, left the next, back to the right side here. And he's to the Roncalli 41-yard line. Again, it's 6 on first down.
Approach 2 minutes to go as, again, Hobart's going to try to grind the way down the field to try and put some points on the board here, give themselves something to feel good about. Of course, they got plenty to feel good about, and when they look back after this sinks in, what they accomplished here this year. As there's the jump ball for Vode, and that's what we've seen him do all year. That's what helped get Hobart here, throw up that jump ball down the sideline, and the big Zach Vode goes up and gets it.
That's the same ball he threw a little bit earlier, but this one just a little bit higher. And again, it was Bow back there who was trying to come up with the interception. That was the almost INT we had a few minutes ago. This time, Vode skying up there, putting his body on the line as he came crashing down and held onto the football inside the 10-yard line. First and goal for Hobart's. Give is to Turley. Went left, now cuts back to the middle and picks up about 4 yards to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, that was the Zach Vode that Hobart has seen, throughout his career here. The jump ball, go up and get it. He comes in at 6'3", 215 pounds, great athlete, attending Western Michigan next year. Maybe they can get one more of those to him in the back of the end zone to put 6 points on the board here before the clock strikes 0.
He's lined up to the right of the quarterback, Johnston. On second down, Johnston looking for a block. Johnston got one, but not the second. Was driven back at the 2-yard line. It was Caden Meek, who, remember, had laid that big hit on Turley earlier. He comes up and drives through the tackle on the quarterback, 3rd and goal. He's a good tackler.
Yeah, great job there, keeping his head up and just driving through, not allowing Johnston to plow forward.
Again, out wide to the right, matched up one-on-one with Bow. Under a minute to play. That's Zach Vode. Here's a give. Turley up the middle, 2-yard touchdown for Tyler Turley. The folks from Hobart drove a long way, and they waited almost the entirety of this ball game for that score right there. It's a Tyler Turley touchdown. Hobart on the board here late.
Yeah, Turley goes in there untouched. And like I said, just great to see Hobart has success there on this last possession. Something to feel good about. You don't want to get shut out when you come down this far. Roncalli was doing everything they could to keep him out of the end zone. They wanted to preserve their shutout, but congratulations to Hobart for finishing strong and putting one in the end zone there.
PAT is good. 38 seconds to play. Roncalli 42, Hobart 7. We'll step away one final time, come back for the final 38 seconds of this one as Roncalli will put the finishing touches on a 4A state championship.
The Hobart Family YMCA wishes the Brickies good luck in the state championship game today. The Hobart Family YMCA is offering a Black Friday membership special to help you jumpstart your new year right. Join the Hobart Family YMCA for just $1. That's right, just $1 before December 14th, and you won't make your first membership payment until January 5th, 2021. Come check out our newly renovated facility and see what the Hobart Family YMCA has to offer you. Visit our website, hobartymca.org, to sign up or learn more. Go Brickies!
First Merchants was founded on a principle. Banks should help their communities thrive. Over 125 years ago, a group of business owners created First Merchants to ensure our neighbors had a trusted place for their money. Today, we continue to serve with a dynamic and passionate spirit. For our clients and our communities, we are focused on solutions. Working together, we create them. Learn more at firstmerchants.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Tyler Turley touchdown with 38 seconds to play. And Hobart able to get on the board in this 4A state championship game. Roncalli will add their 10th state championship, all 10 since 1985. And their 5th since the turn of the century. And they had to wait a whole long 3 years since their 4 years, I should say, since their last of 2016. And here they are again, about to be state champ. Again, a team that went 7-6 last year. New coach, coming with a lot of success. Coach John Rodenberg. 2 championships in Cincinnati, 1 in Kentucky. And on the return, it's been that kind of day for Roncalli. And Dominic Brown, why not, is going to take it all the way for the touchdown.
Yeah, you wonder with Hobart kick deep there, would they go onside kick? And probably the right call. Really no need to onside kick there. Just kick it deep. And, just a great return. Great blocks all the way around. He may have been untouched, and unless they got a hand on him right there.
Yeah, that was the only one, 92 yards.
Yeah, it was 92 yards to end the game. And, yeah, just Ron Colley just wanted one more on the board there. They weren't happy with just 42.
Impressive. I mean, it's just an impressive football team.
Yeah, almost speechless there. I mean, what more can you say about this team? They just did it in all three phases today, and now you put in a special team score. So what an impressive team this has been. Hobart has nothing to hang their heads about. You know, we talked a little bit earlier. Ron Colley did this to the number 1 ranked team in the state 2 weeks ago, the number 3 ranked team in the state last week. You know, makes you wonder about those state rankings a little bit and why Ron Colley was not ranked a little higher. But just an impressive team at all 3 levels.
Joe Parrott's sophomore kicker had come on for the PAT, knocks it through. It's 49-7. We'll just stay here. Last 24 seconds of the football game as Hobart, we thought, had their final possession, ending a Tyler Turley touchdown. It's going to take a little bit tougher road here for this possession to end in a touchdown. But we've kind of, like I said earlier, exhausted a lot of these superlatives about Hobart and the great program. We talked a few weeks ago when we did the regional about how great the program Rick Good's building at Calumet. Great job he's done there. Same can be said for Craig Osika. And more reinforcements coming through the pipeline of a dormant Hobart football team that was reawakened a couple of years ago when Craig Osika took over. You know, you look at some of those dormant programs, and we saw it not too far from where I live, down the street really, in Griffith. The Panthers' longtime success with Russ Radke, and then he left, and then Coach Geffert seemed to revive them. Now kind of up and down again. Coach Robertson doing a great job this year to get them back to being in contention, especially in conference play, but a ways to go to be back to where they were under Russ Radke. Off the squib kick on the bounce, it was fielded by Vode out to the 19-yard line. 16 seconds left in this football game. 49-7 Ron Colley. But, you know, I say this a lot, that these big programs, even college or pro organizations, you more so call the pro teams, and not a program necessarily, but a lot depends on the coach at the helm. And Craig Osika is, of course, a Hobart grad, a guy who played some in the NFL and knows exactly what it takes to get the job done on the gridiron. And he knows what it takes at this point of after the last couple seasons doing it himself to build a state championship caliber program. And he'll have this team. It's not easy to get back here, but he'll have them in contention, I'm sure, relatively soon to get back to this spot, as difficult as it is. On a run to the left side for Tyler Turley. And that's how this football game will end, as the clock will expire on this 2020 season for us. It expires on the 2020 Hobart Brickies, and does for Ron Colley as well. Ron Colley, the 4A state champions. And you give this Hobart program so much credit. These folks pour their heart and soul into it. Into a season like this, 2020, with all the COVID-19, all the stuff people are tired of hearing about, we're tired of talking about. But through all the stuff that it took to get that program down here, a season to put on like we saw, and they come up a bit short, but a lot of credit to everybody involved.
Yeah, absolutely. It took a lot to get down here today. A lot of teams had their season end because of COVID. A lot of teams lost some games they didn't think they were going to lose because they lost players throughout the year. So it was going to be just a survival of the fittest down here. You know, the team that did things right, you know, tried to stay apart. And, you know, as we're talking about that, you know, you kind of watch, it looks like state finals now. They are down there shaking hands, and that's something you did not get to see a whole lot of this year. As not everybody, but there was a good group of players from Hobart and Ron Colley that went through, maybe just the captains, and did shake hands. And that was something that was not done in high school sports up to this point. But a revival for Hobart. Coach Osika said play 15. Well, they played 14 this year, but he got what he wanted to reach the state finals. They expect to be here every year. You know, he obviously wanted to win the 15th game this season. But, you know, he's got the team back believing what they believed in the 80s and 90s, that they deserve to be down here and should be down here every year. And, you know, it may not be next year, it may be, who knows, but I believe it won't be another 24 years before we see Hobart back at the state finals.
Yes, I would agree with that. maybe a couple at most, and at least on the doorstep of it if they can't get down here. But a big credit to this senior class, to this coaching staff, and everybody you mentioned. Coach, thanks a lot for being a part of this broadcast team this year. Coach Brett Jennings as well, who started those first few weeks with me, then came back, worked with his brother Brian last week. Great credit to our crew last week. We didn't get to say that enough. Credit to our crew here as well. As I mentioned, my partner Tim Fedler, but also to Zach Pizer, Ben Cowart here, Ben Tamara all season long, outstanding producing all of our games. Guys like Nick Hedrick, you think about Sonny Santana, Jess Bernardo as well, all the great camera people, Brad Brooks, a part of it last week, and I'm forgetting some people, so I don't want to keep mentioning names, but everybody involved with WJLB, to Jim Deedlow and everybody else. It's been a lot of fun, a whirlwind season that went by so fast, and now we turn the table to the Hoosier State, really more known for basketball, and we'll turn to that completely in the coming weeks. We'll let you know where we'll be and all that good stuff, I'm sure, soon. So for everybody I just mentioned, and for you folks listening, and let's not forget Tony Panic back in the studio, even him as well. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you. We enjoy it. We couldn't do it without you, and we'll see you next year.